Welcome back, gamers and gamettes, dudes and dudettes, lads and lassies, to another alluring episode of Games and Gamers. I am joined, as always, I'm not even going to say as always, because I have my dad on the last episode. For those who want to go listen to the last episode of Games and Gamers Family Edition, go hit that top right corner, or top left corner. Go hit that corner. That's not the one I'm pointing to. I'm pointing to the wrong corner. But go click that corner, or click down below, or just wait for the end of the thing. I'll have a previous episode up. I'm joined by, mostly always, Danger. Hi, Danger.
Yo, what's up?
How are you today?
I'm doing alright. Very productive day today.
Same, my guy, same. I mowed.
Same.
And I napped.
Oh, lucky.
I'm
very
kidding.
lucky.
I woke. That was very. No, I'm not even gonna play along with that. But I woke up. I want to say around 10 o'clock, which is a late sleep for me. I mowed. I weed eated. Went to town. Got my tire fixed. I got like a freaking plethora of games. Dale came by, and he gave me. Take a guess at how many copies of Dark Souls this man gave me. He gave me Dark Souls 3.
Okay, so 3. I'm like thinking which one. Alright, so specifically Dark Souls 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking like 9 to 12 copies.
Oh my god, if it was that much, he gave me 3!
Oh, okay. I was thinking like a ridiculous amount of copies. Like he gave you a bunch of them. 3, nice. I mean, you can keep them if you want to. Though if the others break, you have another one, and if not, if you want to, you could sell them. I feel like you should keep them.
There's another one. I don't know what the other one is, but right now I'm holding 2 separate copies of Dark Souls 3.
Me personally, I would just hold on to them.
And there's a PS4 version in here somewhere too. I don't know where.
Call me a hoarder, but I love collecting games and stuff. Like
I love collecting games too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But the fact that he had it that many times, and you want to know what's even worse? I made the joke of, are you sure you want to part with your Dark Souls since you have so few copies? Yeah, you know what? I'll take a copy back. He looks at my collection, my PS4 one, I'll take that one. And he grabs my PS4 version of Dark Souls 3 and takes it, leaving me with the Xbox One version that I'm never going to play.
Straight up, like, here for a trade. Like, here, let's trade. Are you sure? Yeah. just. I didn't mean any of my versions. Like, nah, I don't want it. I mean, imagine he just left you with 3 Dark Souls that none of them work. He gave you 3 that none of them work, and they just ran with yours that works.
Yeah, I mean, his PS4 doesn't work, so joke's on him.
Oh, okay.
But honestly, I'm not a Dark Souls fan. Those kind of games are not appealing to me. I've played them. I've beat them. They're not appealing.
Speaking of which, I need to play I do want to play Elden Ring. I really want to play multiplayer though. Multiplayer sounds so much more fun.
Get it on console and we can.
On what, PlayStation?
Yes.
All right, maybe.
Magic fingers.
That would be fun. I think you could play between 4 and 5. I think.
Remember, I'm getting a PS5 in a few days.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Your games do, if you have them digitally. Actually, no. Even they all transfer over. Everything transfers over.
It's just PlayStation account.
And then also make sure you double check to look up which way you face the disc. You face the disc, like,
I'll figure
towards the thing, I believe. Yeah, I just to make sure you look, because I almost entered it the wrong way. I'm glad I looked it up.
It'll probably be like similar to how the Wii is, and be like it's faced to the thickest part.
Yeah, like it's
it doesn't have full backwards compatibility with PS4.
It plays all PS4 games.
Good.
Perfect. It plays PS4 disc, and if you have it on digital, you transfer it over.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: you have to have the PS4 on at the same time. You have to have both consoles on at the same time, and it transfers it over. It takes like an hour, but it transfers everything.
Oh, you mean that stuff? That's okay.
Yeah.
That'll be okay. There'll be some of them I just got to restart, but that's okay. I don't care about that. I'm just losing 285 hours in Final Fantasies.
You're telling me you don't want to transfer it over to another?
I'll start over.
You keep stacking up. All right.
I mean, they don't New Game Plus, so there's no point in it.
Yeah, New Game Plus, yeah.
So I'm not losing. I'm just losing time that I'm gonna put back in. That's really all I'm losing.
New Game Plus. So here's what I found out. They didn't stop doing New Game Plus. What they stopped doing is they stopped their like PlayStation hits, their massive like newer generation things where they had like all of the newer games out. That's what they were removing. Where they removed a bunch of these massive titles that they had.
That
So they
makes
still
sense.
have a bunch of games, but all of these PlayStation hit categories from PlayStation Plus is what they're removing.
Make,
People made it sound like they were removing straight up PlayStation Plus, and I was like,
no,
or
they.
extra. I mean not plus, the extra
Yeah, no,
part, the extra part.
extra something that people, me, have been looking forward to since the
Mm-hmm.
culmination, the creation of the PS4, because that was something that got
Mm-hmm.
promised when the console first came out. So when
Yeah.
I did not expect it. I honestly thought it was just one of your superstitious. Because Danger, for people out there, Danger's very superstitious. Like he sleeps with Rosemary and Thyme next to his bed to ward off ghosts. He has a wicker switch in his game room next to him. He's not. He's swinging it at me right now. He has a wicker switch that he lights from time to time to just cleanse the air from the demonic souls.
Yeah, I totally have all that. Yeah.
Hey, you can't disprove that you don't.
You were here. You
No,
didn't
I
see
know
me.
I know if it's true or not true. You can't disprove to games and gamers that you don't have these things.
Well, they'll have to choose who to believe. I don't have that stuff. They'll
I
have to
mean,
choose who
since
to believe.
speaking of warding away the demonic spirits,
Oh, yeah.
that goes into our very. I'm going to say this is a game that I was legitimately excited to play. We are going into Silent Hill, an old 1999 game made by Capcom and a team specifically by Team Silent. Not Resident Evil. It was more or less they took the idea of Resident Evil, like the gameplay and stuff like that, and more or less built upon it. So this was my first legitimate time playing Silent Hill in my life. Like no ifs, no ands, no buts. I knew two parts of Silent Hill. I knew the ending, multiple endings, and then I also knew about how to save one specific character, which Danger loved that part of the game. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Sybil.
Oh. You
Yeah.
see me personally.
Dude, I don't care what you say in the end. Silent Hill is a great freaking game.
I'm sure it is. We'll go more into it later,
We
but I'm
will.
sure it
I'm
is a
going to say
great
that
game.
right now. I love this game. I played through it 4 separate times. I got good ending, good plus. I'll go best ending. I got good ending. I got ending, and I got terrible ending. I got all the endings. That's how much I love this game. To be fair, it's also a 4.5 hour game. I beat it within 4 hours pretty much every single time. So
Mm.
I could beat it. The time it took us to beat Spider Man, I could have beat Silent Hill 12 times over and been halfway through another game playthrough. But Silent Hill, 1999 horror game. It's a thriller horror game that introduced a whole lot to the horror aspect of the world. Game starts off, and Danger and I are going to go through this part because I'm sure I never saw him play it. I uploaded on my channel. Go check out KH Hauser to see my initial playthrough of it. Um, the first, I want to say, the first 5 minutes of the game or some of the most terrifying of a game I've actually gone into. I wasn't expecting it in that kind of game. You know, where you're running around town. The game starts off, you get out of a car crash. Story of the car crash, I'll go into it because this is one of those things you have to read the guide to kind of go into. So I'll give this one. This is the negative tick I'll give it. The story of the game is you are Harry Mason and your late wife found a child 7 years prior. My wife passed away. Harry's left raising his daughter Cheryl alone. Cheryl wants to go back to see where she was found, which was in the town of Silent Hill. So Harry's like, okay, let's go. They go get in their car. They go drive off. Harry runs into Sybil Bennett on the way, and he's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm going to Silent Hill. Meh. And okay, fun. So they get attacked by they get weirdly attacked by something. It's unspecified which, at least to my knowledge, it is. And Harry drives off, gets a car crash. You wake up in a fog filled area. Look around and be like, oh, what happened? My head, my noggin. And you see your daughter off in the distance, like, Cheryl! And you go get her. So you run through this fog filled expanse of town till you come to an alleyway. By the way, we played a PC port, not PC, we played an emulated version of it for anyone that's curious out there. So we played more or less the full version, the non American version of the game. Did I tell you that, Danger?
Oh, it's not.
We played this uncensored version.
Oh, okay.
Like there's a censored version which shows
Yeah.
less detail of stuff, and a censored and the uncensored, which
Yeah.
yeah, like one big thing of, at least as far as I know, we did. I was told whenever this is apparently different because we played the non-American version. It just had the American voices over it.
Yeah.
You go through an alleyway, you see it says "Beware of dog" on grate. It's like, oh look, we're gonna get attacked by a dog. You open the thing, there's a blood splattered dog everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the uncensored things.
Hmm.
That apparently wasn't like that in the American release of the game. So you run on through, things start to get really wonky. You come to an end of a thing like a bloody chain link fence. You see someone crucified and tied up, bound, and you're like, oh shit's going down. You run around and you start getting attacked by gray kids until you die. And then you wake up. Danger, that's the first, like, say 10, we'll say 10 minutes. Because, I'm going to say 10 minutes for those who've never played it. You got to get into the game, get used to running around in the game. Was that a good opening for the game? Did it get you captivated? Be honest.
That was supposed to take 10 minutes. Yeah, buddy, I spent like 10 minutes working the controller, buddy.
That's
it took me 10 minutes. We're talking 20 minutes.
I said 10 minutes for those who just run around, get used to running in the controls with the D-pad. I'm going to give a fun story about the D-pad later. With the D-pad, and you run on through. But, so we'll just say that first opening thing.
Yeah, the reason I did not record, I'm glad I didn't, because for the first hour of me playing the game, like 40 minutes of it was me screaming and cursing. I could not get it to work. The controls, I kept on changing the controls to figure out what it worked, what was good. I kept trying to, it wouldn't connect for some reason. Eventually I figured it out, and then it didn't tell me, like, some of the controls it didn't even tell me about, so then I had to figure out what it was, what controls did what, and then connect it to the controller. Then after I did, there were still inputs that I didn't know yet. And then also I'm using a PlayStation 4 controller. That typically emulators and controller compatibility are built for Xbox. So I didn't know, because for this button, the select button is not like, this one's like the screenshot button. Yeah, the share button. So the share button is the select.
Okay.
And so that's what
that
confused me.
makes
It's because it's the share. This is what the select button is. This didn't do anything. This didn't do anything. Little did I know the share button was what select was, and it took me a while to figure that out. Because I thought share wouldn't do anything besides PlayStation. I didn't know it was actually the set in select button. So that's now good to know for future emulator stuff.
Yeah, that's
that shares the select. That share acts as the select button.
Yeah, that makes it a fun part about it.
But the atmosphere was interesting. It was cool. It was cool to look around and stuff. I definitely think if I first got in, not after setting up a controller for 10 minutes, I think if I went in first thing with just the gameplay, would have, thought it would have been looked a little cool, for especially during that time, the whole like mist effect thing. I clearly just put like an orb around the character, and it kind of unrenders things at a distance, but it is still a cool effect though.
Do you know why? I was going to tell you this. Do you know why the fog is in Silent Hill?
No, I've never learned about the fog or anything.
The
Never learned about that stuff.
The fog was a late game additive to it to beat render distance. Because they could not put a far render distance in those older games. That's why Resident Evil and stuff like that kept it close knit, room by room. That way you don't have to worry about render distance. Silent Hill, for those who don't know, for an older game, is a very big game. So they did the fog effect as the background. That's as far as the render distance could be, and they closed it in a little bit so you don't know what's coming. To add that secluded, that isolation, that fear of shit, what's around the corner effect. So anytime you see the cut off, that's because it was just a render distance thing. So they worked around it to do that.
Yeah.
And that's I love that
part.
It
is very clever. Yeah, that is a very clever thing to do. I did think that was cool.
And
I did like that part about the game.
And then that one fog thing, which not everybody knows, some do, some don't, translates to the rest of them. They added the fog not for fear. They added it so it didn't look terrible, and it translated to being an atmospheric game because of it. And it's inspired a lot of horror-based atmospheres. Like Silent Hill, in my opinion, is, and I say my opinion, because a lot of stuff, you look at other games that came after it, did a whole lot with the horror world by adding in stuff like that. It added a whole lot of atmospheric events to it, a whole lot of jumps, whole lot of different stuff to it. Oh, we're getting on off topic. Let's continue on with the story. So,
It's still on topic.
no, I mean, like I was going to go with the story. Like I'm getting way.
Oh,
off.
okay, I get it. Yeah.
I'm
You
going
were
to keep
going.
diving. I'm going to keep
You were gonna
diving
keep going.
deep,
Yeah.
complimenting the
I get it.
game.
Yeah. Because I was like, you're still on topic. I was like, oh, but you're gonna take off. Yeah.
Yeah. So Harry is murdered by the Grey Children. You wake up in a diner. I think it's Heaven's Night. I could be wrong. But as you wake up in some diner, it's either A2 or Heaven's Night. I cannot remember which. You are met by Sybil Bennett. Walks over. It's like, "Ooh, who are you? I'm Harry Mason. Oh, that's right. I drove past you. Where are we going to go? What is it? I got to find my daughter. Okay. Well, I'm going to go to Brahms, make sure everything's okay there, then I'll come back. There's a drug cartel that I'm dealing with. I don't know if you ever paid attention to that. She's there dealing with a drug cartel.
Yeah.
So, here's a gun. Good luck. And she walks out. So
I
then
think it was like drugs, and I think it also mentioned weapons as well. I think it also mentioned weapons. I think.
it was just drugs.
Was it just drugs? I feel like it also meant. I mean, I might have been thinking about they were talking about like gangs and stuff. And
It was an
that's what made me
underground
think.
drug ring, which we're going to talk
Yeah.
about. It's some of the stuff if you pay. It's one of those side things that if you explore a little more, you'll be able to figure out more about it. But
Yeah.
two very different players between him. He doesn't know, so a lot of this I'm explaining to him. He's going to hear it for the first time.
Whenever I get, we'll have a field day about the game whenever I get my turn.
I mean, here's the thing. I'll give you your speech. You can say good or bad as we go into it. So,
Yeah.
like opening part, you said you had trouble with the controls just because it was
Sure.
something you're using a
Yeah,
controller.
but
not
that's
meant for it.
controller. Yeah, that's controller fault. That's not game fault. Game fault. It wasn't game fault for the controller though. No,
Right.
that was entirely my fault.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's not
Yeah.
it's negative aspects in there. So as it goes
Yeah.
to your turn, you keep on topic as much as you think you are your negativity, as opposed to just waiting for
I
the
know.
end.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no. So already. So I'll go ahead and say it for just future games. This game, any other game. I do not prefer tank control games. I don't
Oh, that's right. I
prefer
need
it.
to talk about tank controls.
Yeah, the game is a tank control style game, and it is not my favorite unless you're literally controlling a vehicle. If you're controlling a person, it just really annoys me. And so the fact that I have an annoying control system plus also a controller that's not really working, plus I have to set it up, plus I have to figure it out, plus I don't have the information for it. It just stacked into being really annoying. So just going into the game, I was already ticked off. But that was game skill issue plus mechanical issue to figure out, to get into the game. That's not the game's fault though.
So,
And at the time, there were more of these games
Yeah.
that like that
and
at this time.
as I thought about it, it shouldn't have been like that, but we're going to get onto that later. So, tank controls. For those who do not know a tank control game, as opposed to using the analog stick where your character can run in a perfect circle, you hit left on the analog stick, your character goes left, right. You can only go forwards and backwards, technically. If you know how to use it proficiently enough, you can use use the D-pad to go up. Your character goes forwards or backwards. You turn by hitting left and right while going forwards or backwards. You can run in a perfect circle if you know how to use it. It's one of those ones, if you don't know how to use it, it can very much change your entire experience with the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to give a prime example of something like that. I'm playing through Shattered Memories. I don't know if you saw my stream the other night, Danger, but I started playing the Wii version of Silent Hill. I made a mistake hopping into it because this is the first Wii game I've played in like 15 years. And it takes so much control with the Wii controller that I just hopped in with the wrong game. And I'm not disenjoying it, but there are just times it gets annoying because I don't know how the Wii works anymore. But anyway, you are given a weapon by Sybil. She's like, all right, good luck, pretty much. Go find your daughter. You then run around the diner. You get to pick up, kind of see a little bit. You can look here, there, look a little there. One fun thing I noticed on the second playthrough. Did you happen to notice when you go to pick up the gun, did you notice the air screamer that flew outside?
No.
Okay.
When you go to
Like,
pick up just the pistol?
like whenever you're walking to that side of the room, you have the pinball machine, you have the
Oh
weapon.
yeah.
At
Oh
the
yeah, no,
window.
yeah, I did. Yeah,
You
I
see the
noticed.
weird-
I was like, did I see something move outside? I was like, that's probably something outside. Little did I know what happened next. But yeah,
He flies on by. I didn't notice that till the second playthrough. That was
I
fun.
I noticed at the corner of my eye. I was like, did I see something? I was like, I probably saw something.
I went in at
but
the.
I didn't want to say I did in case there wasn't. I just sounded stupid.
I
But I
went.
was pretty sure I saw something.
I think I went at the wrong angle because I did not see it in my first playthrough. But you pick up a gun, you pick up some health potion, you pick up a knife, you're about to leave, and next you know, this radio go just making static, all sorts of static.
you just like,
I know, I made the static sound. You wouldn't be able to hear it. Then I was like, wait a minute, OBS is hearing me. So you hear the of the static.
You just keep cutting out for me. I'm sure it picked up on OBS, but you just keep cutting out for me. Just
But you pick it up and it's like, oh man, this radio's going weird. And you get attacked by an air screamer, your first enemy of Silent Hill. Danger told me horror stories and he hated this first thing. You use your gun, you shoot it, you kill it, and it's like, oh wow. And I'm telling you this, I've played other Silent Hills. I've played 2, 3, Downpour, Homecoming, and Origins. This was such a different intro to a Silent Hill game. Because you're just thrown into the thick of it. Like, no explanation in any way, shape, or form. Silent Hill 2, you have a build up to it. Silent Hill 3, there's some weirdness here and there. But it's just, first 15 minutes. I'll say first 15 minutes of it. It took me, I say first 15 minutes and I was made my way out. I'm getting attacked. It was so different. You run outside, you see the fog. All you know is, it's a Silent Hill. I had a dream about an alleyway. You run through town, running from groaners and air screamers. Until you find the alleyway you were dreaming about. You find a note in the alleyway that says Midwich, or go to school, pretty much. Pick up a pipe, and you run to the school. The school is the first portion of this game.
made it.
Danger had some
Made it.
negative aspects of this portion of the game.
Negative is a kind word.
Negative
really.
Well, negative is, it's not being hateful because as you think about it, it's not the game's fault.
No, there's one thing that I hate.
I know what you're talking about.
I know what you're talking about. I'll let you talk first, but there's one part that I hate that the game did. But that is the game's fault.
No. Because I thought about what you taught and I was like, okay, that makes fair. But we'll get to it, and I'm going to tell you why. But you know what? Until we get to then, you start running through the school. You make it to the school. It's like, oh man, you're getting attacked by these little great munchkin things that grab your legs, bite your thigh. It's horrifying. Go through school, you start figuring out puzzles, starting to figure out a little more about that. 1, your daughter Cheryl is not there. 2, there's something screwed up in this town. You go running on through, you do a puzzle, and here's a puzzle you gotta do. You have a clock tower puzzle. You have to get a gold amulet, or gold medallion, and a silver medallion in order to open up a clock tower to go down to kind of go to the next aspect of the game. This is kind of where the game slowly started to introduce the puzzle aspect of Silent Hill. Silent Hill is known for its puzzles. At least I think it is. If I hear people talk Silent Hill, it's either the fog, Pyramid Head, or the puzzles.
Yeah, Pyramid Head.
Pyramid Head is the face of Silent Hill.
Yeah, Pyramid Head is what I remember most.
And that's from the second one, which we're gonna play.
Literally on screen. There it is, Pyramid Head mask, literally on screen right now.
Yeah, let's go. Let's move my handy dandy mouse over there, right there to my side, because I love Silent Hill. It's one of my favorite franchises. It's not for everybody. I understand that, but I love it.
Oh, you know what that means? We gotta do your Final Fantasy, and then on my side, we gotta do a Pokemon game and a Sonic game. At some point, someday.
Hold on, people. We're not going to take a brief intermission for our sponsors, which we have some good sponsors this week, but we're not going to let our sponsors speak this week.
All right.
But, Danger, since we're talking about it, let me... Is it in this box? It's not in this box. Where are you? Where are my Wii games? I'm grabbing something just for you, Danger.
Okay.
For those who don't know, I have Sonic and the Black Knight.
Yes. Now I just need to get a Wii. Yeah.
You nerd! You don't have a Wii?
No, so whenever we got a Wii, we gave our Wii to one of our friends.
Wait a minute, that's non-nerd. You
non-nerd. We still have the Wii U, but it's just not. It turns off every time you turn it on. So it's been doing that for like 5 years. So
take it to Game Exchange Theory, see if they can get it fixed.
Yeah. Yeah, see if they. I mean, that would be cool. But yeah, oh my god, yeah, Sonic. I love that game. But that'll come another day. I could literally talk for hours just about the game alone. Let's
I don't
another
remember
day.
anything about it. So you go do
Oh my
this.
gosh, it's such a good game. All right.
You have to get a medallion from a hand, and a medallion out of a piano. The hand, you got to get some acid. I think it's like hydrochloric acid. Put it on an old man's or a thing of a hand.
The
Burns
old
it away.
man hand.
The old man hand with a hand of the man. You got to pour it on there. You burn his hand away, grab the medallion, go put it in the clock. You go to another room. You have to play a piano. Play this piano on a specific thing, grab the medallion, shove it in the clock, there you can go. This is the puzzle Danger is talking about. He told me negative aspects about this, so Danger, go into your thoughts on it. Tell me, since it's...
So literally, only problem I had with this puzzle was the
Puzzle?
fact that you were the puzzle. The
You
fact that you
said
only
puzzle.
had a problem with this puzzle. No, puzzle was you could not go you cannot go to the piano until you put the sun one inside of the clock.
Right.
I thought that was so dumb.
Well,
I literally looked like I solved the first one. I read the other thing. I thought in my head. I figured it out. Oh, it's probably you gotta play the keys in this order because I know about a piano. I know how it works. So like, oh, that's probably it. And I look up and the thing. I'm like, oh, I actually noticed in the room there's a silver thing up there. That looks a lot like the gold one. That's probably it. So why can't I do the piano? It's not a crowbar. I got a pipe. Can a pipe do anything? No. Can I open it? Is there something in the room is there a key that I need? No, there's no key. There's no key. There's no nothing. I can't open it. How do I get this to open? So I go through every single room, which by the way, not only are the controls already just not my personal favorite, but I'm fighting enemies in almost every room, so I have to either avoid them. Oh, but here's the fun part: you're stuck in a little tiny hallway, avoiding these things in a little hallway. And so, oh, okay, well, if I can't avoid them, I'll just kill them, no problem. Oops! Now you're stuck in a corner, getting as one hits you. Then as soon as it's off, the other hits you, then it gets off. So you need to both avoid it and kill it if you want to survive. Because if you don't do either one, guess what? You're just...
my
and so
guy,
it doesn't...
just run around him.
You can't.
You
You saw me on stream try to
did,
do it.
and it hurt.
Because
you know what? My last run I did, I didn't kill. I killed one enemy. I killed one enemy. I killed one enemy that whole
puts you
game.
in a little room. You can't dodge them. And here's another thing, right? The school. Here's what's even worse. It makes you go back and forth so many times.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact you have to go back and forth when all these enemies are there, you have to go back and forth and back and forth. And you have to if you do the avoiding tactic, you have to avoid them every single time. And so you're like, oh, well, I'll just kill them to get it out of the way so they're not here. So I now have to aim and precisely kill them every time or learn the crowbar mechanic to keep them away from you, which takes a minute, which doesn't work if there's more than one enemy, which is hilarious because typically two always spawn together in an area. So it's so annoying. It's just annoying. It's the game. It's fine, but it's annoying. The part I don't like, let me get back on track, was the fact you have to put the sun medallion in the clock to then go to and it doesn't give you a hint about this.
Wrong.
To what I know. Here, okay, I assumed you had that. Where does it tell you to do that first?
Okay, so as soon as you enter the school, you go to the left. You have the nurse's station. You have 3 specific
Yes.
notebooks. I'm not even going to screw around while I'm trying to pretend the times. So let's say 10 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 12 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, you can get. It's essentially saying at 10 o'clock, this thing is able to be got. All those times it wasn't saying what time it takes it to. It's saying the time it has to be in order to access those amulets. So 10 o'clock for the gold medallion. It's set 10 o'clock. Okay, I can get the gold medallion. You go put it in there. Okay, it then goes to 2 o'clock. Now it's 2 o'clock. Let's go. That's the time for the silver medallion. Then letting you know the silver medallion's up to be grabbed because the time matches. That's what it's looking for. So now you know, okay, I need it. Now it also grabs the ability to let you know to do that. Then you go do that, grab the medallion, then you're good to go.
It's so annoying. It's
So
just
it's
so
one of those
annoying.
things. This is a very people out there. This is a very detailed game. Like not a
It
detailed,
it
like Last of Us.
forces you to look at everything, but not everything is easy to find. Like you have to go out of your way to. And here's the thing: there's so many times where I walked past something because I thought it was just a background object because it matched the same color and everything else in the room and did not look like it was something important.
Oh, you're gonna have a heyday for later Silent
But then
Hills.
it is. It's so. Example: the map there. So literally, one of the things you needed to do was in one of the room with the doghouse. In that room, on your way to the school, the map is right next to the door. I did not know this because it just looked like a background object. It just looked like a poster. And there's a bunch of these types of wall things that are nothing, that don't mean anything. But then there's like one or two, and of course it's the ones I walk past or the ones that I'm needing. But every other one I click on is not a thing. It's one of those things where this game forces you to look at things, but it doesn't make it easy, and like almost any way does it make it easy. And I'm not saying a game should be easy. I'm just saying for how difficult and annoying it is. Especially, we'll talk more about it when he actually brings it up. But for it to have that, not enjoyable. It is not enjoyable to have that.
I can agree to some of that because it was later on in the game where I did miss a map. And on my first playthrough, that made things a little wonky.
Mhm.
It wasn't awful, but it's one of those things.
Yeah.
The game spends the whole time showing you pay attention, look at everything. So
It,
one of
it
these later
really
things,
does.
like this
And
was a me error. The map later on, this was just a me error.
So you have to choose how you want to waste time. Do you want to waste time backtracking as you look through stuff and click on things you think it is, or waste time by clicking on literally everything and just hope you get everything as you're clicking on literally
I'm
everything?
gonna
There's no way you're
say
gonna miss. It's just you gotta choose what you want to waste your time on. Honestly, it's
I'm gonna
because no matter what, you're gonna waste time. Your first or second playthrough, you're gonna waste time.
I'm gonna say one thing that kind of goes. Not you don't have to look at everything because it does make a lot of the stuff important. Maps are the only caveat to this because maps are on the walls typically, or they're kind of set. Like take the hospital. The hospital has a map sitting on its thing on its counter, so you know it's there.
Yeah.
So sometimes they make it obvious, sometimes they don't. But for the most part, if it's an important item, there's one point in the game that a key item we're going to talk to it a little bit that I missed because I didn't know it. I had to tell Danger because it's so minute. But we're going to talk about that in a
I
little
think I
bit.
know. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about though.
Is it
Yeah.
green?
No, actually
Okay.
no.
Okay, then we're talking about then I'm talking about something entirely different that I did tell you. So you make your way through the school. You end up going into once you go to the clock tower, you're brought to like a weird basement area that makes no sense of why it's there. And the whole world changes without you knowing. You're then brought to the other world. Silent Hill has two realms of reality: the real world, our world, and then the other world, which is like a demonic for people out there. It's Stranger Things world. It's the Upside Down, but this was
Mm-hmm.
the original Upside
Mm-hmm.
Down. Who directs Stranger Things? The Feige brothers? Is that who it is?
I don't know. I don't care. I've watched the first season of Stranger Things, so that's it. But
Stranger Things creators, rip off.
that is one thing though. Oh yeah, 100%. When I was playing Silent Hill, literally, it just kept giving Stranger Things vibes.
Nice.
Like
There's always Stranger Things around the corner.
so many like Stranger Things vibes. It was insane.
I think if I remember, if I go look it up, I think they said I could be wrong on this, but I think they did say that Silent Hill was like did have some part in the creation of Stranger Things.
Oh, it definitely did. Maybe it was in the back of their minds. Even if they weren't thinking about it, it was definitely in the back of their minds because it's so on par from the world, the enemies, the way they look, the characters, the feeling of it. Like it just very much feels like that though. Once you play Silent Hill and then watch the first season of Stranger Things.
And I'm just going to be someone out there that's going to defend. No, Silent Hill took it from them. Silent Hill came out in 1999. Go eat a carrot.
Most of the people listening to this were probably not even born, most likely.
I mean, I wasn't. I'm the older out of the two of us, and I wasn't born then.
Yep.
Came out a year before me. God, I would have loved to play it on its initial thing. That would have been so much fun. That's one thing that's one thing that we don't get on this show with Games and Gamers. We play older games that were generation defining, which we're going to be playing some. We don't get to play it in their heyday, so that's it. It doesn't
Yeah.
take away. It's more of a nostalgia thing, but it's just upsetting.
Yeah. No, I totally get what you mean.
So we go to the other side of the school, run around the other side of the school. We find a fairy tale that says, there's a demon lizard. Shoot it in the mouth. We then we go through a little more, do a little more puzzle. It's one of those gateway puzzles. You have to turn these switches in the right way to open up a path. I hate those kind of puzzles because I feel like those are more RNG than anything.
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the tilting thing.
The wire things. Where you turn
the gate, yeah. I love that puzzle.
God, I hate those puzzles.
I love the puzzle. So what we're talking about is where it's two entrances and two lever. Well, it's one entrance, but it has like two bars and two levers. Whichever lever you pull, the side you pull will turn twice, while the other one will turn once. And so you have to see where the openings are. It's where you actually think of it as like a very complex Rubik's cube.
Yeah.
And so that's basically you have to turn one side left, other side right, and then you can turn it left or right. So basically, you just have to figure it out until the pathways opened. And I love that puzzle.
God, I hate
that's
those
one
puzzles.
of my favorite. I love that puzzle. Again, very different. Our mindset's very different on puzzles and stuff.
I just don't like those ones because they're more monotonous than anything.
I enjoy it. I think it's cool. Much like how I enjoyed the puzzle in the Vile puzzle in Spider-Man. Those types of puzzles I think are fun.
You like the equality puzzles.
Not the reading. That's the school.
Okay, I guess riddles. We're not calling puzzles that are riddles.
Sure.
The door was a puzzle. Everything else is a riddle.
Here's the thing. I did immediately get after I read the fairy tale that it was probably going to lead up to a boss. It was probably telling me how to defeat a boss quicker. Because I'm pretty sure you could beat it the other way. You don't have to. It just makes it easier.
Yeah, you do more damage when its mouth's open. We're
Yeah,
talking about a split head, by the way.
Yeah, literally when it had it. Yeah, when it had its mouth open, 3 shotgun shots killed it.
And for those who want a visual representation, since I'm not going to edit in, just imagine a giant demigorgon. From
literally, that's literally a demigorgon dog, but a massive one, and it's. It's 2 mouthpieces instead of
you watch
like
you watch Adventure Time, right?
Yeah.
You remember that blue alien that Jake is supposedly based from?
No.
I'll take that as a no. There's a blue alien in one of the flashback episodes that shows Jake's origin story. Joshua was bit on the head by an alien, laid an egg in his head, and it's kind of just exploded into Jake. It's, hello, mommy. Hello, daddy. So glad I can finally meet ya. And falls asleep. Danger's looking up a picture. So, you take on Splitterhead, you beat it, you go to the real world. It's like, man, I gotta go to the next thing. You go outside and you begin hearing church bells. The first normal sound in this town. Are you looking at him?
Yeah, I found it.
He looks like a weird version of that. Or like
I see where you're coming from.
Or like a Venus flytrap.
I see where you're coming from, though. Yeah. It does look. I guess, yeah.
It is all sorts of ways to look at it. Just look up Splinterhead, Silent Hill 1. It's a giant lizard that opens its maw in 3 different ways.
Gosh, dude, freaking! I didn't know that you literally just backing up while you're shooting. That you can outrun it basically when you do that.
Especially if it has a center thing, you can keep along there. You actually give yourself more time.
Yeah, but I didn't know, dude. I died to it like 4 times, maybe 5 times. Like because I thought I had to run before it gets me, and then I have to kind of lead it on.
That's what got me the first time too. Then I killed it my second time.
I thought like as soon as it opens its mouth, it gets anywhere near me. I'm just done for. That's what I thought.
Anyway, after you go do that, you get all that, you hear these church bells, you got to make your way to the church. You enter the church, and there's this creepy old lady who's like, Mayor, Harry, no, the gods have sent you to us. Mayor, this is a blessing upon blessings. And then she's like, here, you want to find your daughter? Yeah? Here, take this Pyraminx-looking thing called the Flowros. You don't know what it is, just take it.
The Triforce. It's literally just the Triforce.
No, the Triforce is like a triangle on a triangle on a triangle. This is the Pyraminx puzzle.
Yeah. From one of the sides though, it does look like the Triforce.
It
from
looks like
one
a
side.
Pyraminx. It's a Pyraminx puzzles. It's a kind of Rubik's cube. It's the only one
Yeah,
that
I know what you're
love.
talking about. Yeah,
I love those things,
yeah.
but that's what it reminded me of the
It's
whole time.
it's more of a fidget one. Yeah, there's the complicated ones, but I think the one you're talking about is the more simpler one.
It's
where you
entire.
just twist the edge.
You twist the
Yeah.
edges like top, bottom, left,
Yeah,
right, or whatever.
it's literally just a pyramid that twists it. Yeah, it's very simple, but it is fun. Yeah,
I like those. It was
That-
very.
that
It's
is-
very satisfying.
that is one thing I want. I want to master Rubik's cubes. That is one thing I want to try to learn before I kick the bucket.
Good luck. So, anyway, she's like, "Mare, go over there. There's a hospital. Go to the hospital." It's pretty much you need to figure out go to the hospital. She could be there. Okay. So Harry goes out of town, goes outside, starts roaming through town, getting attacked by now rompers, these gorilla-looking things, which Danger loved. Because they're just big old. Just imagine big men on all fours that just like.
They just hop like frogs. They're
Yeah.
just like frogs,
And they make those sounds.
but people instead.
The gorillas, pretty much.
So annoying.
They're giant,
so
hairless gorillas. So you run into the place, you find the hospital. As soon as you enter one of the hospital rooms, bam! You get shot at, and it's our second other character or third other character, Kaufman. Silent Hill does not have a vast variety of characters to it. I think just 5. Yeah, 5 overall characters that you actually see throughout the game. You got Sybil, Kaufman, Dahlia, Harry, and then you have Lisa. We're going to get to Lisa in a little bit. So she's like, "Brr, well, there's shit going down in this town. You know what to do? No? Figure it out. I'm going to go to town and figure it out." So Kaufman leaves. You start roaming through the hospital. As you roam through the hospital, you solve some puzzles. You deal with some weird parasite nurses. It shifts over to the other world. You run around a little more. You hear some knocking on you're about to leave. It's like, well, I guess we're going to leave. You go to the place that brought you in there, and you hear, "Man, there's a sound behind this door. Meh." And I'm giving a good enough detail, don't you think, Danger? Are you thinking the game through your head?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty close. This game is just very back and forth, really. Back and forth in puzzles is truly what this game is.
Yeah, I'm not going to deny that.
It's why it definitely lost my interest. It lost my interest.
I will
really.
not deny that because it is 100% just kind of go to this area, do these same things, go to this area, do these same things. It's different. It's different every time.
Yeah. Oh, I'm aware. And once we get near the end of the episode, I will give my entire quick explanation of just about it. I mean, I'm going to talk about this stuff, but once we get to the end, then I'll give like the big explanation.
You run through the hospital, get all this stuff, you end up going to a room, and you meet Lisa. So we've done quite a bit at this. I say we've done quite a bit. We've done a whole other chunk of the game. This game's really not a long game. It took me about 5 hours to beat it my first try. Danger, it took a little longer, but you know what? It's okay. It's your first time playing it.
A little longer, like times 4. It's like a little longer. Close, not exact, but close. An extra 4 hours. It literally was 12 hours.
Yeah, it took me 5.
So 5, yeah,
So
close.
7. Almost
Four
almost
times.
triple.
Yeah.
4 times would be 20.
No, 4 times 4.
Oh. So anyway, you go to that and you meet Lisa. You talk to her and she's like, "What's going on?" "I don't know. Everyone else is dead." "Oh, that's sad. You want to come with me?" "Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's safer in here." And Harry wakes up on the other side. Then you get to leave the hospital going to your next destination. So, now we've done another chunk. We have the hospital. We're introduced to a couple more characters. What were your thoughts into it?
So first character we met, the freaking doctor guy or whatever, whoever he was.
Dahlia. Dahlia is one we met. The creepy lady in the church.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, back up. We're back at the church still, right?
Yeah,
back
that's
up.
where it's going church and the
literally
hospital.
walk in. She's like, "Oh, like the path to power must be unlocked. They're here. They'll come to consume all the land." I'm just like, all right. There's one of two things this lady is. Either one, she is a part of a tribe to or something to like defeat this thing, and so like that's what she's here. She's the side character that'll give him all the stuff to do. She'll explain it, but she doesn't really do anything as a character. Or turns out she's like the one who's doing it. There's like only 2 answers with that type of character at this time. So and then take the amulet, cool, called it a Triforce. It looks like a Triforce, except it's pyramid shape. And then we go to the hospital. we were given a key, or no, we had a key, and I was like, okay, pretty sure. We go to this hospital area because that's what it looked like. It was like an alley, so I was like, oh, and it had like a pathway. I was like, all right, probably here. Went there. Hate the open map, by the way. Like, there's so many dead ends, so annoying. Went to the hospital. Went into the room. Animation plays. Shoots at us point blank at the door, right at our chest, and somehow he missed. He shoots us point blank, like a foot away, right at our chest, and he somehow missed. Somehow happened. But yeah, they talk about it. He doesn't know what's going on. Says he leaves. He leaves. I never see him again. he leaves. He shoots
That's
me
right.
point
You
blank,
don't see him
misses,
again.
leaves. I never see him again. Like, I know there's other stories where we see more about it, but if he looks at me, shoots, bye, and I never see him again. Almost kills me.
Bye.
Then yeah, a bunch of more back and forth. One thing that I did miss was the bottle, which you told me to eventually. I should probably go back and get it.
Mhm.
Got the bottle. Honestly, you shouldn't have even told me about it because we never do anything else with it.
No,
I get the
I'm gonna
bottle.
tell
We
you,
don't do it.
I will say this right here. There are some very key components that Danger missed, and you're supposed to pick up a bottle in the hospital. Then you got to go to a room, and in this room, there's a red, like a blood scarlet, like almost like Full Metal Alchemist's Philosopher's Stone red liquid on the floor. It's one of those things that I just put two and two together. Man, there's a liquid. I have a bottle. I wonder. Scoop, and you put the liquid into
Yeah.
the bottle. You save that for later. You never use it until later.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, never used it. Found the tape. It was in the hospital we found the tape, right? Yeah, I think so. I think it was the hospital that we found the tape. More just up and down. Yeah, there's different floors. Nothing really memorable except solving the puzzles, getting the VHS tape, I think we got a thing for a different location. And
We got
I
that.
can't, honestly,
We got that on our way. Whenever we woke up in the other world, we got the antique shop
Yeah.
key, which we're going to go into. But you also got to remember Lisa.
And we remember the room. Yeah, Lisa. We met Lisa. Hello, nurse. You just gotta say that every time there's a nurse outfit. Just,
Lisa
and then
was one of the best characters in this game, and we're going to talk
Yeah.
about it later. She was
because there's just there's like six
Hey,
characters.
it doesn't
and
matter.
This is the only one you actually feel bad for.
She was a good character. Like, she was a well-written character. She was a sad, well-written character. Like, even later on, you hear her stuff, you feel bad for her, and she also brings with her one of my favorite video game soundtracks ever.
But yeah. So then eventually we leave. We meet Dahlia again. Dahlia tells us about something to go somewhere else. I'm not sure.
Well, we get that.
Then-
Well, I was going to go into the next exploration part where I was going through. Well, right
Yeah.
now we just wake up. We woke up in the hospital. She's not there. Man, what do we do? Okay, you're given no inkling. You just wake up in the
Yep.
room. So you then wake up, and this one I had to tell Danger about because I missed it my first time through. There's a little itty bitty teeny tiny green key on a desk, and it's
Yep,
such
and I missed it. I walked out. That's another thing. You need to look everywhere all the time.
It was noticeable. The problem is it was such a minute thing. Like, I was playing Resident Evil 4 Remake last night. On stream, there was a part of it that wasn't loaded. Like, it was part of the wall that wasn't loaded, so you could see the purple and black texture. But you see, oh, that's not supposed to be there. So I saw this green thing. I thought nothing of it, because I was like, oh, it's one of the textural things. I guess? I don't know. So I didn't think anything of it. But you grab an antique shop key. This antique shop key lets you know, I gotta go to the antique shop. So, grab the antique shop key, run outside, you fight all this stuff, or you run from this stuff. You can fight or run from it. It doesn't make any difference in this game. It will in later games. I'm telling you that now. Fighting and killing.
Speaking of the antique shop, stupid.
It was-
Literally, you have to pull up the map, zoom in on the map. I have a monitor, by the way, that I can lean into to see it even more. I have glasses in that makes my vision great. All of these things put together, and it took me forever to like read it and figure out where it was because it is pixels. You have to guess what you're looking at.
I saw the two words and I saw a shop. Oh, antique shop. That makes sense.
gosh, and of all locations on the map, so it's just and
The
you
map
have to
is
go
very
through
pixely
the
too.
location. It's very pixelated, pixely, freaking another annoying thing.
Oh, it's a
But
blonde wig.
we will excuse it for its time. But what I won't excuse is how.
Oh, also we can't even say that it is the PC port. That's the PC version that is that blurry. It is very tiny, but if you look at it from a distance, you can see ANQ. It's antique. SHOP shop. Okay, so you go to the antique shop. As you're in the antique shop, you meet Sybil. You actually push away a cabinet. Danger ran around there for a little bit trying to figure out what to do. It was entertaining. I was watching him through this a little bit. It didn't take him too long, maybe 2-3 minutes. It's like, there's a cabinet here. I already interacted with this cabinet. What if I go to it from this side? It moves! So you interact the cabinet, there's a hole in the wall. You're about to walk in, and Sybil's like, hey, Harry, what are you doing? I ain't seen nobody. What's going on? And she's asking all these questions. I don't know. I'm as blind as you are. And so they talk for a little bit, and he's like, something weird's going on in this town. And she shrugs off, like, there's nothing weird going on. What's this hole? I don't know. I'm about to go look. Okay. Well, let me go. We'll actually look. She tries to. Nah. It's my daughter, my town. I'm trying to get this figured out. You stand here, keep guard. If I need help, I'll scream. So he walks through the hole. You see an altar, just altar pictures on the wall. You find an axe, which I'm sure Danger liked that axe. I liked that axe.
Anytime I use a melee weapon against anything, I hated it. Anytime I did, there was not enough bullets.
It's a very methodical way in how you play this, like combat in this game.
It is. It's annoying because again, there's like typically when you find an enemy, there's either one or 1 to 3 more nearby, or in the like within the small vicinity of your area. So literally, it's that if you need to melee weapon something, it's after you already kill 1 or 2 enemies. Because if you try to melee enemies when there's multiple, you can very easily get screwed. I'm sure there's ways, I'm sure there's mechanics, I'm sure there's tactics, but you can very easily get screwed, especially if it's your first time playing. It's even more so. And especially if you don't prefer the controls, which is even more so. So it's
We're
like
gonna get to that in a little bit. We're gonna get to that in a little bit. Half of the controls, what I heard, got completely thrown out the window on the second to last boss of the game, which we're gonna get into in a little bit.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say. I still stand by my statement to it's dumb. It's still dumb.
No.
I know.
No.
I know. Yes.
Yeah.
It's
yes.
stupid.
No.
It's stupid.
Yes.
It's still stupid. It's stupid. This thing is stupid.
No, that one's much more precise. That's why I prefer that. But
it's more precise, still stupid.
So anyway, you go in there. It's like, hey, there's nothing in here. Grab the axe. It's an altar. Weird. Door's locked. Also weird. You go to leave. Thing lights up. Oh shit. Okay, and then you leave, and boom, you're back in the other world. Well, you wake up in the other world, like you're talking to Lisa again. He's like, huh, Lisa? Harry. So they talk for a little bit. Then he's like poofed back to another room with a pentagram in there. This is the next part of the game. You got to go. You're in the other world yet again. And your only thought, which Danger did not care for this, was you have to go to the hospital. Harry's like, I'm in this world. Let's go check on Lisa. So we go to a thing. You go into like a little convenience store like thing with escalators. Or you have to find it because you can't immediately access where you need to go, so you have to run through a side thing. Silent Hill is very much as opposed to straight path. I'll admit to it, it's annoying. Let me go left, so I can go left, so I can go right, so I can go forward, so I can go down.
There was no point for the mall. There was no point besides showing you an image and a boss battle.
Yeah, boss battle.
It gave you a weapon.
The twin feeler.
So dumb.
So you go into a mall, and it's about to go up the escalators. You see a TV stand, and they're showing your daughter. He's like, Daddy, where are you? And she's like tied up. We don't know anything that's going on. At least that point for me, I was like, oh shit, something's going down. I need to find her quick. And I literally thought the game started being on like a time-based schedule. Okay, I got to be there quick, otherwise we're going to have issues. So I started kind of rushing through.
Like it may affect what ending you get or something?
Yes, because I didn't realize until after I beat it the first time, like, you know, the pretty much 3 specific things that can affect the ending. So run on up. You was like, man, this radio's going crazy. Radio starts going all sorts of crazy, and you start running up a thing. And it's like, there's nothing here. Hey, let's walk this way. This side of that you're walking up like to. I guess it's a mall. I guess it's a mall. Is convenient.
It's a mall area, yeah. It's a mall. There's escalators, there's shops, there's things. It seemed like it was gonna be a more interesting area because it's a massive mall area. It's more open. There are these little rooms where there could be items or weapons in. It's a massive area for a potential boss fight or a bunch of enemies to spawn in. There's like it looks like a fun thing, but
So
since
are
it's
you
fun, of
upset
course
you didn't get to play in a mall?
since it, because it looks fun, so of course they couldn't add it because it's something that I would enjoy in the game. They didn't want to do that. We don't want me having fun in the game. So
It was a good game.
They blue balled me and dropped me out of the mall into a sand area. Here we go, another basic area, and then now we have to fight this little thing.
It's called the Twin Feeler. It's basically a 10-foot fat centipede, not centipede, worm. Caterpillar. And one thing, I pointed this out. You know what? Do I have it in my notes? Where's my notebook?
The whole boss fight, the whole fight was so dumb.
I erased it. I don't know if you can see it, Danger, but I had a whole bunch of notes written, and I guess I erased it. Damn it!
Probably because they were not as important.
No,
wanted to cut down on it or something.
I knew what those were, and I was like, Silent Hill notes. Danger doesn't pay attention. It's pretty much what I wrote. Like, I'm not even kidding. Because as soon as you drop in, you're given a cutscene, and you see this thing. You're given a cutscene, and you see a rifle. Like, you immediately see the rifle.
So the reason I barely paid attention, there's so many times where I zoned out and I had to rewind whatever cutscene or something was on stream because I just was so zoned out and so didn't care, is because the game bored me. I was either angry or I was bored, and it could not capture my. It couldn't.
Kalima.
For if y'all don't see, y'all can't see it. Yeah, he found an amulet of some sort in his room, and he just has it now.
Yeah.
It probably that's something to start to a movie of it teleported into your room from.
This is my Silent Hill. I love the game so much that you know what. Okay.
Yep. Give you an all right. Good luck. Anyway, but yeah. So the entire time I was either annoyed, angry, or bored. Those were my only three emotions throughout this. Like, there was very few parts I actually enjoyed, and anytime I thought I was gonna have fun in it, it was just kind of ruined. The one thing which I'm actually like, I enjoyed it was the nowhere room that you said you had trouble with. You didn't really, whatever it was called. Like nowhere. You said you did. You said it was confusing. You said you were annoyed by it. I actually enjoyed it. Oh. That was one part of the game I really enjoyed. It was just puzzles. The enemies, small amounts. Resources, it gave you. Little did I know you were supposed to be saving all of these, but whatever.
We will get to Nowhere. Okay? The reason, and I'll talk about Nowhere. Nowhere wasn't annoying. I just got turned around a lot. I had, because at that point
I did it, so I don't know, it was just one of those things to where I enjoyed it more because
my brain had the other maps in my head at that point.
Yeah,
like I'm going to this room. Okay, this is there. Oh shit, no, this isn't there. So I literally had like 5 different maps going through my head. But we'll get to Nowhere. We'll get to Nowhere. I do love Nowhere. After I played through it. I love Nowhere. It's a fun aspect. By the way, people, I'm wearing my amulet. If I get cursed, fuck yeah. So next area you go to after that is you go take on the Twin Feeler, kill it, grab the rifle, you leave, and it's like, okay, we can go to the hospital. You go to the hospital, and then you start talking to Lisa again. And Lisa, you start asking, hey, do you know about Dahlia? Dahlia Gillespie? That name sounds familiar. By the way, the voice acting in this game, top notch.
Terrible. Horrible.
It was so bad.
I'm sure if I looked at its time, there were games that were good at the time.
I'm gonna. I'll argue that because you got to look at like Resident Evil. The original Resident Evil had some pretty ass voice acting too, and if you can't argue because if you go listen, you go play through the remake, the Resident Evil we have, it's some bad voice acting in there too. I think they just reuse the audio. But anyway, so you go on there, you talk to her, and then she's like, I know Dahlia. She was weird. She was a town cuckoo, pretty much. Okay. Now what? You can always go to my old elementary school. Maybe something over there. So, no, I can't get to. You can't get to the elementary school by going there. Wait a minute, the sewers. So you go to the next part of the town. You actually go back to the normal world. You go to the other half of Silent Hill. You end up at a little chain link thing. Crack, 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 crack. Quit attacking me, you little bastard! My cat attacked me. I'm being very movement, and my cat attacked me. Make sure.
Your cat's that way. Oh, freaking! Oh, that's gotta be annoying.
Oh, I love my cat. Don't get me wrong.
Like you remember that scene where like one guy got super excited? He got like this was at the time to where I believe it was new. Like I think they got like a Battlefront 2 Xbox bundle. He freaked out and his cat attacked him because he was
No,
too
we're not
excited.
going to the school. We're trying to go to the lighthouse.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had that. I had a different part backwards. I have notes kind of kept up.
I don't think we're there yet. Did you forget?
No, we're going to the resort area. The resort area is where the lighthouse is.
Yeah,
Because Lisa tells us you got to go through the sewers to get to them.
mm-hmm.
So you run through the
But
sewers.
don't we fight another boss before we start heading that way?
We have the float stinger, which is
Yeah.
also, I guess, I do need to forget that. Whenever you shoot whenever you kill,
Again, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I need to hit on the game as much as I can. I need you to go back to that. That's one of the things I hate is this whole enemy. The whole thing is you fall in the sand. You fight this thing. It takes off. So literally just annoying. You get the rifle. You leave. You then just walk for a good day. I think you go back to the hospital again. Then I think this is the time when you go back to the hospital. Then you leave. But instead of just leaving, you then cut to like it teleports you. So like for you to go, it teleports you to a building to go up the building to fight this thing.
No, that building was immediately outside. That building was immediately outside, actually.
It was me. So yeah, you leave immediately outside. You go to the roof to fight this thing. I'm like, okay, I just had an annoying fight. I'm pretty sure I only got hit once because I was like 2 shots dead. I think I got hit once and killed it without getting hit
I'll
again.
also say this for fun. Danger lived in the red zone a lot.
Healing items did not exist in my inventory for any longer than 5 minutes. Anytime I got healing, like 5 to 10 minutes later, it was used. But what happened was it's so annoying because you go up there, right? You go there, you go up, you fight it. I'm like, okay, surely I'm supposed to do something up here now, right? And I'm looking around. Oh, I can't go in the door, can't go in a vault, upstairs, only look at the water thing. And so I went up here for no reason. There was no point. More back and forth bullshit for no reason. This is the game. This is not me. I went up for no reason to go up here. Not I need to go up here to look around. They didn't even put story or bullshit of, I need to see where the lighthouse is. Let me go up to look which direction it is. Or I need to go up here because
No, that's why you were going there.
Or,
that's pretty much why you were going there, to kind of figure out the direction of where you need to head.
but he didn't say, I'm gonna look where it is.
You didn't pay attention to him telling himself, let me go check on Lisa in the hospital. You get no say in. He didn't say this.
But he goes up there, but nothing happens during or after. It's like, oh, well, no, I have it now. He goes up there, he's like, ugh, kill it. Ugh, and then he leaves. It's so dumb.
I don't disagree. The float stinger, which is the evolution of the twin feeler, was an unnecessary aspect of the game. You could have played the entire same game without it. I will agree to that. There's a second negative tick I've given this game.
It's so annoying.
So, afterwards, after you go through all that, yes, Danger, don't question what I'm doing, but after you go to there, you go to the sewers, waterworks, to go make your way to the resort area. This is where it wasn't important to have the map, because this was the last area you needed a map. So you go through the sewers, gotta get a sewer key, you run around these weird bug, human skulled little demon things. I don't know what they're actually called. Danger loved these things. They killed them so many times.
These like skull things. They looked like the monsters from
The
Kong
baboons.
Skull Island.
They look like the baboon thingies from
Temple Run.
Yeah.
Yeah, that as well. Yeah, they looked even more like that. Yeah.
You
But
said
yeah,
that, and I did. and I
Yeah.
had agreed.
Especially with that section where you had to run from them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you literally had to run away from them in that, like, running area. So, I mean, yeah, it was just like that. It was another annoying thing, because, again, you just get stuck trying to run around them. And then if you try to fight them, you're just going to basically lose. If you try to run around them, you get caught half the time. And so it's just annoying. It takes a while to figure out. It's just so
I
annoying.
think it was at this point. I'm lagging. I'm not anymore. Good. My whole Discord was lagging for a second.
Yeah, it was.
So, I think it was at this point I finally figured out Danger had been using the analog stick. This thing meant for 360. There goes the lag again.
Yep, you're like
360-degree movement. He's using it for up down. That's where a lot of his control issues. Like, how can you not run around these things? It's so simple. Hit up, then go around. No, he's sitting there using a D-pad, using an analog stick. And for those who have never tried it, it's really wonky because of the 3D aspect of a controller, of the analog stick. You can't just run. Using an analog stick, you want to go slightly to the left, your character moves slightly to the left. It has full 360 motion. D-pad does not, at least not tank controls. Other ones do, but tank controls do not have that. So, I was amazed that he'd been playing this game that far, and it's like, that's why you have some issues with the movement. He was telling me a lot of movement issues.
And even later, when I did use the D-pad, it still was hard to do though. Like, even after using the D-pad, even if it is easier to control, I have a problem. Like, I don't have the same amount of movement with the joystick, which is fine. Kids expected. I'm using the D-pad, but like it still doesn't change the fact that in game I'm not moving too well. Like, I wasn't controlling well, and I was trying it.
You did
I tried it different ways.
If you rewatch how it goes, your movement started getting a lot better whenever you started using the D-pad. I picked up on it very quick.
It's still annoying to use. So even if it detected it better, it's still annoying to use and play.
So, make your way through the sewers, fighting out these baboon-looking demon bugs.
Yeah.
Make your way up to the resort area. This is where I missed the map. Because as soon as you exit the sewer, you put like a broken building to your left. You go grab materials in there. Then you have like a little billboard thing. He's like, "Ooh, come to church," or whatever. They'll say it says "come to church." Try church again is what it says. You pick up the map, and then you're in the resort area, and you are given unknowingly, if you do not explore the whole aspect of it. Danger did not on his first time. He was just fed up and wanted to get the game beat.
I just wanted it done.
And I'd also told him time-wise, he only had like an hour and a half left. It took a little longer than an hour and a half, but gameplay, he only had like an hour and a half left.
It took like 3 hours longer.
You are given your second key aspect to your ending of the game. Yeah, you don't know this.
Yeah,
you can
in
go.
fact, I mean, if you want to talk about it, I'll be right back. Actually, if you want to go ahead and talk about it.
Or I can give a word from our sponsors.
Fuck you.
So I'll come talk about it whenever Danger. I'll talk more about it again whenever Danger comes back, or I'll reiterate it for him. You can go to a place called Annie's Bar. You meet Kaufman again. He said he never saw Kaufman again. It's because you're supposed to find him here. You save him from a monster. Kaufman's like, "Oh, thank you, but you need to find your way out of here." He leaves a notebook that says like 4807, 4307, one of those two numbers. I can't remember which it is right offhand. You have to go to another place called the Indian Runner, because if you interacted with it first, it'll show a little key, like a little number dial thing. It's like, oh, look, 4 numbers. I don't know these numbers. You put in these 4 numbers, you go in, and this is where the drug cartel starts going, because you find a key, you find a note, you find a motel key. I think it's room 3. It just says 3 on it, and there's a motel not far from you. So you go to the Indian Runner, grab whatever, you go to the motel, you search room 3, you just look around for a little bit, there's nothing here. Oh, another thing in the Indian Runner room, I always forget to talk about this, is you have a code to the back of the motel, which you need the back of that. You need that code to get to the back of the motel, because it gives you the overall ending aspect of said beating the game with the best ending. I'm going right now. I'm going to elaborate for the best ending there is. So, you grab those codes. We grab the code and you go back there. You go to his room. You look around. You see a cabinet. You push the cabinet out of the way. There's a key in the ground. I can't get that with my fingers. What do I do now? So you go around back to the place. Put in your whatever random ass code you got. Let's say it's 7204. Let's just say it's 7204. Put it in, you go in. There's a motorcycle. There's a magnet. What do we do with these two things? You go back to the room, use your magnet, pull out the key, go to the motorcycle, turn it on. Then you can see that there's a weird liquid thing. It's another red, bright red, very similar to something you already have. It's called like a flaustigus. I don't know what it's called. It's some stupid ass name. I'm done trying to Danger. I'm on some antibiotics right now for respiratory infection. And it's like an 18-syllable word for this one half an inch pill. It's like protofluorazepam or something like that. What the? I can't even. I'm done trying to pronounce medication. It's Tylenol. It's painkillers. It's antibiotics. It's Dayquil, Nyquil, sinus relief. No, it's actually acetaminophen.
Oh, actually, it's acetaminophen.
Acetaminophen. I see the minophen.
Aceta.
I see the minophen.
Yeah, it's not aceta, it's aceta.
It could be both. It's like caramel and caramel.
Yeah.
So, you grab this thing, you open up the thing, find this thing in the thing, the red liquid inside the motorcycle by using the key that you got with the magnet by moving the cabinet by using the code.
Yeah, easy, simple.
It actually is. Whenever you do it, it's 2 and 2. It's like, there's a key. It doesn't work here. Let's go to here. So, Kaufman comes in, keep your nose out of my business. Grabs his shit and leaves. You did the Kaufman side quest, the second important thing that you got to do, or technically the first knowing important thing you got to do to save the game, to get the greatest ending possible, the good plus ending, which poor Danger. He got the bad negative ending. He got the negative bad ending. That's how bad of an ending he got. That's actually what it is.
I got the worst ending possible, and it's worse. I got worse than the worst ending, and I'll tell you guys whenever we get there. I got worse than the worst ending.
Trying to yell on that.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you when we get there. I'll tell you when we get there.
Got worse than the worst ending.
I got worse than the worst ending you can get, and I will tell you.
I discussed that with my dad, and he also thought that realistically, that was a good addition to it because it's a fun safety thing. It's a fun safety thing that realistically, when we get to it, I personally think more games should have, at least of this variety of game. But we'll get to it when we get to it. So, you go do Kaufman, and it's like, okay, yeah, I got off track. Okay, he's literally, I guess I got off track. Let's go do what I was going to do. You start going to the lighthouse. You go into a boat. You see Sybil. It's like, Harry, what the fuck's going on? You vanished. You talk for a little bit. Dolly is like, ew, Harry Mason, Sybil Bennett. This is her voice, by the way. I'm just taking her voice directly from. I'm going to edit in her voice. This is it right now. Harry Mason, Sybil Bennett. Welcome. You need to go here. Use the Flauros. Stop the demons. Stop the monsters. Yes. That's entirely what she does. That's entirely. It's weird that she says yes. I don't understand why she says that word. Danger looks very aggravated on his side. I don't know what he's doing.
I'm just reading.
My cat is licking me. I'm a little sweaty. It's warm. I don't have air conditioner going. I'm like, well, you little bastard. That's all you are. You're the bastard. Fuck you. People out there, is that directing that at Danger or is that directing that at my cat?
I don't know. Either one fits. Either one fits.
So basically, you would come to the conclusion of you either got to go to amusement park and go to a lighthouse. Sybil's like, I will. For those who don't know,
for context, basically we're just talking, and just magically, just a little black head of a cat just appears over his shoulders.
Hi,
It
Minion.
was.
So,
Oh man.
basically, Sybil's going to go to the amusement park. Harry's going to check out the lighthouse. Those are the two things. Maybe you can stop whatever's going on, because she starts kind of explaining there's a demon that's causing all these issues in town. If maybe we can stop her and you can save your daughter. It's really good right now because you don't have much to go on. This game's good about giving information, but just enough information to keep you on your toes. At least about the story aspects of it. And if you don't know the story later on, if Danger wants to know, I found like an actual good summary of it to explain it, because if I give it, it'll be like jumbled. In case you can't tell, I'm very ADHD brain. My cat's just... I love my cat. But
Man, your description is very back and forth, almost as if the entire game is just back and forth.
my head works in mysterious ways. That's why I'm eating dry ramen.
No, your description literally works on the of how the game is. It's just very back and forth. And here's the thing, I know how, like, we'll get to it when we get to the end of it. I know how the game is and what it's supposed to do. It just failed to deliver what it's supposed to do for me. It failed on that part. And I'll explain it more in detail when we get to it. I'll explain more in detail to release some of the confusion. He is eating. he is eating at the moment.
Yes.
Well,
So,
I guess now we can do our sponsor.
I mean, you can give... honestly, we've kind of done a little bit at this point, because you have the sewers. Actually, no, we kind of talked... You talked negatively about the sewers, pretty much. You didn't say directly.
I mean, the sewers, I mean, same thing of wonky control in a narrow area with a bunch of enemies. It's just not fun. And what's even worse is that in the sewers, I was two-shot. So literally having so many enemies in a very tight area, fighting or trying to avoid them was just... both option was annoying. There was no better option. It was, which one did I want to commit to for the next 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was just annoying.
So, Harry makes his way to the top of the lighthouse. You see a little girl. Her name is Alessa. Alessa. I'm saying this a lot. Alessa. Because Danger said her name right once. Through the whole game. Alisa. Alyssa. Elisa. Not Alessa. Allessa. Alessa. No. But you go to the lighthouse, she's there, and you realize, oh shit, I'm too late. I gotta go check on Sybil. That's the only place I know. Let's go over there. So you end up going to the amusement park. You run into the amusement park. There's enemies there. Danger may or may not have ran into enemies. He missed some stuff in there. I know that he missed a save.
I ran into a bunch of enemies and stuff. Yeah.
You also missed some HP stuff and some ammo.
Oh, I'm sure I did.
Yeah. Like a save point. Like literally, you had to stop where you were before you went to the end, turn around, and walk behind you. You would have found it.
Yeah.
So, do that. You run into a carousel because everything else is weirdly broken. By the way, this game is also at this point kind of showing that the base world and other worlds are kind of merging into one thing. It's almost as if life is becoming a nightmare itself, is what it is. So the worlds are going together, so everything's weird and wonky and more or less other side. So, things going on. You hop onto the carousel. Cutscene plays. You see Sybil slopped over. What get up and her eyes blood red. Hi, Minion. My cat is attacking my hand. Attacking. And she pulls out her gun and she starts shooting.
You said hi, Minion. I thought you were gonna say blood red high. She was so high.
I mean, technically she was. She was high on the demon.
Yeah.
So you can have. This is where one of the big options of the game. This is your second option of the game to where you can get the good ending or the bad endings, because you can kill Sybil. Or, if you use the red liquid you got from the hospital, which you put in the glass bottle, you can get close to her, throw it on her, and you beat her without actually having to fight her. You expel the demon from her body, and she's like, "Bleh, bleh. Thanks, Harry." And then, pretty much there. Danger, I played all of them. Danger's first time through, he loved it.
Only time through. And
First.
we'll get more of that later.
We'll say first. I feel like later on you're going to be like, you know what? We're going to play other tank control games, and you'll be like, you know what? Let's go give that one another shot. So I'll say first.
Alright.
It'll probably be a couple
Yeah.
months,
Oh
but
my
I will say
gosh.
first. So tell me your experience at the amusement park.
So the whole plot twist thing that happened. Again, kind of expected to where this character was either gonna be just a character that was weird or was gonna actually be the villain. So again, very predictable at this point. Um, but also the other thing is for the fight was so annoying. It was annoying to avoid the shots. Did not know after 10 shots that her gun would be empty. After again, another thing was I was also at red, so didn't survive. Was it going to be surviving this? So literally every time, and also she does like two to three shots on you. So if you don't have enough health to take like 5 bullets, which is basically full health, you just get one shot. And so that's literally what happened to me. So I got one shot again and again and again and again. So I learned, oh, okay, well, if I keep running, eventually she'll get on her horse and then it'll go around. Well, basically, it was wait. If she tries to approach me, shoot. If she pulls her gun, run around. Basically, just went in that order. Then eventually I learned that you could hide behind the horses. Then eventually Hayden told me that eventually she does run out of bullets, which I never knew this. I would probably find out eventually, but now I know, hey, instead of trying to fight her, let me just make her run out of ammo. And so I did that. And then she chases you the whole time nonstop and will eventually strangle you. It literally runs around the center of the thing, so I'm just running, and there's no point in me running for so long because it's not like I'm gaining any distance. She's just on you the whole time in the smaller area. So it was just really annoying. Fine, and literally the only reason I defeated her was because the game glitched and she wouldn't like kill me. She was stuck just running into me and wouldn't kill me, and I managed to kill her that way. So the fact that I was there for like 30 minutes fighting this boss, and that the only reason I won was because of a glitch, and even then I was literally sitting there for like 20 seconds just spamming shooting with the rifle. Like it's another thing that made me not enjoy the game even more so was how annoying the fight was and how long it takes. How annoying it is, how long it takes, the area you're in, the camera's stupid. You even saw what I was talking about the camera of like it just being dumb, I'm not able to focus on what I'm trying to get at. So it was just not a fun experience. And the fact that this is the like second to last like another climatic thing
What word?
climatic. No,
Climatic.
climatic. I was like, wait. I was like that. Wait a minute. But freaking, it was so dumb. It was so. I did not enjoy it. I hated it. And seeing the fact that I had to win with a glitch, it didn't feel like a win. It felt like, oh, like we're just on to the next thing. So I did not enjoy that, and then continued on with the rest of the game.
So after you beat her, or after you whatever Sybil, you then walk off. You're like, I know where to go. Let's go deal with this creep. So you walk off and you see the ghost of Alessa. And Harry, and I think was one of the coolest parts of the game was Harry's like, hey, stop. It's this great, and it's A+ voice acting for its time. And he just basically pulls out the flower rose, attacks Alessa. No, he talks to Alessa, and she's like, no. Psy waves you, and he's like, yeah, no, pulls out the flower rose, the pyramid looking thing, shoots her down, and then you start to realize that she wasn't bad, because Dahlia is like, my daughter, come with me and you'll see a world of pure horrification. Grabs her, thank you, you fool, and grabs her, gets knocked out, Harry gets knocked unconscious, wakes up with Lisa right over him. And you start in the final part of the game, Nowhere. Nowhere was a very fun part of the game. Lisa and they were talking, and then she's like, Harry, I think I know what's wrong with me. I think I know. And you, at this point, Lisa's a pure soul. Her whole game, she's just been a pure scared soul. She's the only good character, the only good soul in this whole game. I would say. Would you agree?
Out of what I experienced, yeah.
Like out of all the characters,
I
Sybil.
don't know. I don't know. I was missing 3 other characters. I can't tell you.
I mean, from what we saw,
Oh, I saw, yeah.
you had
And
Dahlia.
I think you're getting it wrong because I remember you just waking up in a room. I remember you not seeing her until later. Wasn't it literally later that we saw her?
You wake up and he's like, oh, and then you made the joke of, oh, it's a YouTube reaction face.
Oh yeah. Right, yeah. Literally, it was like, and then that's where he makes him just. It was so.
So,
Gosh, yeah.
you wake up there and she's like, I know what's going on with me. There's something wrong with me. Well, you want to help me? I can't. So
Yeah,
she runs
that's what it
off,
was, yeah.
and then you start exploring nowhere. You do some puzzles. This place has a lot of puzzles.
Mm-hmm.
I loved this part. It took me. The biggest issue I had was I just got turned around because there were maps going. I'm in the school. We went to the school classroom. Okay. Oh, this is this specific class. This is this classroom on this right side. So this is where it's going to go. My brain just got completely twisted around. So that's why I had an issue with. I needed a map to get my bearings straight because I constantly got turned around.
I think I didn't have a problem with that part, so it's why I found all the puzzles fun and just trying to figure out the map. Like it took me a second, but I like once I started getting basic things down, like it's like one at a time locking into your brain. Like, oh, I know where this goes, I know where this goes. The rest of it's pretty easy once you get key points, like the floors, like knowing which floor you're on, and then like as soon as you know which floor you're on, you know where the doors are. Then if you know where the doors go, then you immediately know if that's where you're going or not.
Well,
So it
I'll tell you
eventually
that one
became
of the
easy.
first floor doors take you to floor 2.
Yeah, that is yeah. But then eventually figure everything out, and yeah, it took me a minute. I managed to figure out the puzzles in there. The one puzzle that you did give me assistance for was the one with the pictures of like the animals and stuff.
Zodiac puzzle.
Yeah, the Zodiac. I feel like if I was left alone for just like a few more minutes, like maybe 5, maybe 10 minutes, I don't think I would have needed that long. But I think if you left me alone for a while, I would have definitely figured it out. My brain was just like this, no, this, no, this. Like the way my brain works is like, if it's this, like, is it this? Simulate in my head. If it doesn't work, go to the next thing. And so basically just kind of figure it out and figure out which one of an execution would work. So even though I'm not displaying it, I'm thinking of a whole solution in my head, and I don't think, oh, like, well, if that doesn't work, is this it? My brain tries to simulate all the possibilities, then it goes to the next possibility, and it goes through. So that's why it takes me a while to figure something out, is my brain, like, if this is the solution, how do I get there? Oh, there's no way for me to get there, so then what is this the solution? So
That's where we differ. I had those. I don't have many issues with those puzzles. Like those were actual like okay.
Yeah, it would just taken me a minute to figure out. All right, well, what about number of something on it? But that definitely took me because my brain was in the right area of like numbers, number of things, but it was the wrong category though. Like I thought you were matching stuff, not getting numbers from each thing. But so it took me a while.
That's what I got was at first, and I looked at the other ones, and then it clicked. But you start running through. You end up finding a morgue, and as you go to leave, you run into Lisa, and Lisa's pretty much saying, "Harry, I'm dead. I'm scared. Please help me." Because her thing is, she knows it is. All the other nurses are dead. She went to the basement, even though she felt she shouldn't, and realized everything's fucked up, and she is dead. And the guy said this was by far one of the best scenes in the game. Because she comes in, Harry, please, gets close. Harry pushes her against the wall, and you see her like horribly animated because it's 1999. It's pixelated graphics hit the wall, and then it cuts to black, and then it cuts to like I said, my favorite video game soundtrack. I do not talk much about video game soundtracks. If I talk about it, Danger's heard this. I talk games. I'll say, "Oh, that's neat." I don't talk about soundtracks.
Yeah.
Ever.
You literally put it in our outro.
Hey, it is different. It's based on it, but it's not the same.
Here's the thing. Like I heard. So here's the thing. So literally, to give an example, before we even played this game, he talked about it for like maybe 2 or 3 weeks about this song. Like this is. I'm pretty sure we didn't even record Last of Us yet. I don't think we did.
We did.
Did we? We did?
Yeah.
I think it wasn't long after you went back home. It wasn't long after. And so, we heard the song, right? And I had the song in my head already because I've been told about it and already listened to it and nonstop talk about it. So whenever he sent me the intro and I listened to it, the first few notes I hear is of that song. I'm just like, you gotta be fucking. I will never be able to escape it now. I will always hear it in every episode until we get a new outro, which will probably not be until season 2, if we even do that. If we don't do that, then we're stuck with it.
It's a good song, damn it.
It's a good ending song. It is a good ending song.
No. I'll tell you this. And people out there, I'm going to say this. I did not understand why this song hit. I loved it prior. After playing the game, it clicked about why I loved it. I knew this scene was coming up. But, this Lisa where we got to talk about this. She starts walking at you. Not Tomorrow. That's the name of it. Not Tomorrow and Silent Hill by like Yaoi. I can't remember the name, but it's like Aokioka is his last name. I know that. You hear that it's somber, gentle music as she just starts to bleed. Blood runs down her face, hits her eye, and she reacts. I love the detail they put into like these cutscenes. They put a lot for $19.99. These are great cutscenes. When they put the effort into the actual scenes, it's great. You can't deny that.
It looks fine, yeah.
Like I'm saying for $19.99 because you're thinking
Yeah.
of like Dino Crisis, Resident Evil. Those ones did not have this level of actual CG into it.
Yeah, it also didn't have much at all in it as well, but yeah.
No, they did.
It was. Here's the thing: it might be that part of it's like more. It's more of the other story stuff and the other things you learn. Because don't you also again? Doesn't it rely on replayability? Like you unlock more stuff as you replay it.
Rely? No. You get more weapons if you play it again. It's like, here, play it again. Why not? What's the point? Why shouldn't you play it again? It's more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like Parasite Eve where you have to play through it twice in order to get the true ending.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, so I mean, and then there's a bunch of cutscene parts in like the intro, when we don't really
this
see...
This game went in with a very fun fact, this game in with a very, very low budget. They thought it was going to fail, so that's what allowed them to have as much creativity as they did. Because the creators thought, yeah, no, this isn't going to work. Just make us a game.
Because it definitely looks like one of those games. Like, if you put it in, if you look at a category of, games that failed or so, and you put it into that category, you can see where it's very similar.
Yeah.
But they did it well, though. They did do it... they did alright. They did well enough.
For what they did,
they didn't do horrible, and they did good. And the future games apparently are a lot better, so...
Oh, yeah.
Because, of course, if it went well, they definitely had more budget on the later ones, so... And better technology, so...
So, you have Not Tomorrow, she comes stumbling at you, she gets completely covered in blood. It's such a sad scene. Such a very sad scene. And I'm gonna say why. I was talking about it and I went off topic. I didn't realize why this song clicked so well until I played the game. Because... Silent Hill is very much not, the first one is not a game of coherent music, of coherent background music. It just sounds like someone's in a trash can, banging to be let out, or in a garage, hitting paper pans and pots of
I do not
pans.
like the music in Silent Hill. I do not like...
Better not say anything about Not Tomorrow.
I mean, it's the better one of them.
And also the end outro is pretty good too, because it has one similar to it, but it's a little different. It's like, I think, End of Days or something like that. But so you hear this whole game. It's the first peaceful, coherent music piece in this entire game. Because you hear the brah, 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 playing pretty much the entire game to
Hate it.
gentle piano with plucking of guitar strings. And it goes to be nice and peaceful for such a sad moment where you see her, that's pretty much her dying. Her coming to terms, I'm dead. The only person I thought could save me doesn't want me, so yes, I am truly dead. And that's what she does. She dies. You walk out, you go back in, you find her diary, and she's talking about this patient, this poor burn patient. No matter what I do, why doesn't she die? As soon as I change the bandages, it's covered with blood and pus. And then you start to kind of put together, she had much more important in the story, which she does. Continue on through nowhere. Danger made mention of a tape early on. You can use that tape to get another backstory of Lisa. If you watch it in the base world, you get incoherent. Here's ch, here's here's buh, here's fuh. Just random letters, pretty much. It's broken tape. Then you go and she starts talking about this poor girl. She won't die. I hate being on this thing for it. Kaufman's making me do this. Also, by the way, it's really bad. Her and Kaufman had an affair. That's why she dresses like how she does. It's because Kaufman wanted her to be sexy. Sad fact. So, go on through. We'll continue on through. You just keep doing the nowhere puzzles until you finally make it to more information stuff. You learn that Alessa was an outcast. She's a demon. She has demonic powers. So her mother wanted to use her power in a wrong way. Fire happened, which was Alessa's doing to try to kill herself to stop it from happening. Which this is also whenever fun fact Danger. You find. Oh no, I'm choking. Danger, vamp,
Vamp.
water, vamp.
Oh, get water. Hurry, those
You're not vamping. Ugh,
Vamp.
you're not helping. You're not helping.
How do you want me to help? What do I do?
Talk. That's all you're supposed to do, but I'm better now.
Okay.
So, you basically learn that Alessa, the girl, split her soul. That way their mother could not get the full power. That is where Cheryl comes in.
Mm.
It's, I think, a little prior to this. You learn that Cheryl is being used because she's the other half of Alessa. Dahlia, the big bad, the BBEG, wants to have Alessa put together to create God, to create a new world. Everything you're dealing with is a creation of Alessa trying to pretty much stop Harry from doing anything. So, complete nowhere. Danger said he liked nowhere. I like nowhere. The map confused me. I'll admit to it. It didn't stop me from playing it. I still love this game. And then you go to the final boss, and you got more things start coming into fruition. You see Sybil. She's there fighting with you. She shoots at Dahlia as like, shoot, shoot, shoot. Then you have Kaufman. Kaufman's like, yeah, no, you're not going to do this. I'm not going to be used. Throws the liquid at him and changes the boss entirely. So Danger, whenever he fought, he got the the terrible ending. He fought the perfected version of what was supposed to happen. That Alessa you saw, that was the god, pretty much. First ending I got had the failed god, that stuff that the red liquid that you that you didn't, but can be thrown on Sybil, that gets thrown on Alessa, turns her into a weird, just imagine like a meat sack that looks like a demon goat. Satan, pretty much. Fight it, and as you fight it, you pretty much, you kill it, and Harry's like, bye-bye, Cheryl, and there's a little wee baby that gets left behind. I'm doing the good ending, by the way, Danger. I'll tell about your ending whenever we get to it.
Mm-hmm.
But you pick up this wee little baby, and if you get the good ending, like the good plus ending, Harry and Sybil run out. Kaufman's about to leave, and he gets grabbed by Lisa, because everything bad that happened to Lisa happened because of Kaufman, and pulls him down and kills him. In like a very much like 1920s cartoon scream. Then it cuts to credits. Credits roll, and then you have Sybil and Harry standing in a graveyard, and they're just kind of talking more or less about the future. Is what it says. No words are ever actually said. They just look at the baby. Harry's holding a new baby, and then they look off, and then overall credits roll. And then, I'll talk about the best part about this game afterwards. So, we're now in nowhere. We went through nowhere. You had the amusement park. That's pretty much left. Danger, tell me your experience of nowhere. And the end.
So nowhere was actually fun for me. Already I go in, I enter a room, and immediately I think I entered the birdcage room first, and afterwards I go to the other room, and I'm pretty sure the room on the opposite side was the one with
the pipe.
The symbols. Or was that the basement? Which room was...
The one you're talking about is on the second floor.
Bird.
The one that's on the opposite floor of the birdcage is the one with the key stuck in the water faucet. So you have to get the pliers to turn it on.
Yeah, so you have to get pliers. So basically you explore around. You find, it's pretty... In this area, it's pretty easy to notice stuff in this area more than the other places. You go around, you're able to find the tools, find puzzle pieces you need. The puzzles in this area is actually fun. Um, Figuring out the number codes, but if like finding the tools to unlock the key, you get a key to go to another room. You solve a puzzle to get a key to go to a different room. Basically, you feel in this area, you actually feel like you're progressing. Like it's back and forth in a much smaller manner, to where you don't have to walk across a room to solve something, then go across to the other side of the building to solve it. Then you have to go back, solve like two puzzles that are confusing, then go back. Like it's a lot of back and forth, but it's in a smaller area. And the only reason it would take you a very long time is if you don't fully understand where you are at first. Like I was able to pretty quickly figure it out. It did take me a few times. But I was able to figure it out. So the place isn't that big. The reason it only may take you a while is because you can't remember. But once
Yeah.
you do, it's pretty fast where you go through. All the puzzles were interesting. The one room where you have to take, like later you get a camera, you take a picture of these images and it gives you the code for these doors. One of them giving you a bunch of supplies, which again, I'll go into it in a bit. But there's like you have to get all these little items, these little symbols and stuff. You have to unlock the clock with a key with a little square socket. You have to um there's another one. Oh yeah, where I got the sword. Thankfully, brain clicked and I was like, oh, there's a chain. Oh, I know what could fit there. A key. Let me put that there. Give me the sword. And I wasn't even thinking too much of it. Like, of course, I was thinking, oh, the sword's in there because it's keeping something. But my brain wasn't thinking, sword's keeping something in there. I should solve the puzzle. My brain was, oh, puzzle, solve it. Give me sword. Let me continue. So I did the right thing. But in the back of my mind, no, I was not thinking, I should do this to keep whatever's in there in there. My brain was, oh, something's in there, and this is a puzzle. Let me solve it. So, but yeah, continued on through, and I mean, it was fun. The puzzles were fun. The one thing, like the list of names you were there earlier, but you didn't use them until later in the game. That was another cool thing. The fact that the generator was literally in a completely different area to where the key was that you had to get from the generator, like that's another thing. But that was actually like I thought that was stupid, but it was more fun though. Like it was more interesting because there was like this like cell area, where one of the rooms with the image of it was. And then you eventually find the VHS, just a little extra side story stuff, put it in. You find the room, you put all the locks in, you go into this room, and I actually believe it's in the room with the symbols that there's a save point, I think a few things. And then you're able to go into the room. If I'm correct, once you go through the door, you see a flashback of the parent and the kid.
Mm.
One thing that annoyed me so much was when you're in this room, there's two doors. You go to two doors. I'm sure maybe if there's other things you could do, maybe you could go in those rooms. Can you ever go into those two rooms? The two rooms and the where we go
Yeah.
downstairs.
No,
You can't. No, you can't. Okay,
you're
you
just,
can't go in the rooms.
you're just
can't
in a
go
house. It's
downstairs.
just because Silent Hill has
You're
a
just
lot of
it's
blockers.
just show you go in a house downstairs. It goes down. It goes very down. So you go down. You see the boss. Now, one thing, the reason I say I got worse than the worst ending is because I had like 11 pistol bullets and like 4 rifle bullets. There was no way for me to defeat the boss because there's no physical things. Like, you can't physically attack her because she has a shield of barrier around her. So, by the time I do all the damage to her, I just die. That's all I can do. And so there's only 2 realities to how this would end. I figure I can't beat it. No, there's nothing else I can do. And I just close the game or restart. I assume I'm hard locked. Or what Hayden told me is I use up all my ammo, go down, survive for a second, and I just get the ending. I hate that. I really hate that. I hate that the game basically traps you at that point. Now, in the end, it doesn't matter what you get. You would, get the worst ending anyway. But the fact that the game now has the potential that you go through all of this, right? everyone has different playstyles. You go through this entire story. So here's my perspective, right? I go through this game. It annoys me in so many different ways. It never catches my interest, but I continue on going through this game that I'm just not enjoying most of the time. I finally get to the end, to the fun part of the game, the ending. What makes it all worth it, and I'm just soft locked. I'm just trapped unless I know that there's the sort of like, well, not exploit, but like the secret you can do, but I'm not aware of it.
I
So if I went through all of that to get the worst ending for me to be trapped, I would not care how many amazing endings you have, which again, I truly don't. I don't, it doesn't, so here's the thing. We could have recorded this like a few days later if I was willing to play it again. I'm not. This is what made me decide not to, is I went through this whole game, struggled to get my enjoyment, made me bored, was annoying to control. Again, even if we take out the whole controller being annoying part, it was still annoying for me to control. These enemies were confusing, to mess around with, to figure out where to go. Everything's annoying. The map's hard to travel through, and I finally get to a part where I can get a solution to an ending, and it's just it just no, you just can't. So it annoyed me, and I didn't want to play it again. And I'm sure again, I just got the worst of the worst ending. If I played it was a little smarter. They give me a little few more tools. I'd be more willing to look around because I know where to go, and I'm sure I'd have a much more enjoyable moment playing it again. But I just cannot bear to play it again when my first experience was that bad.
okay.
Like, it's a game, you don't have to, but it insists on you playing it again, at least one more time. And it couldn't get me to do that, to when not only did I get the worst ending, but it also basically prevented me from getting the worst ending. So it just annoyed me. If me personally, what would have changed my entire opinion, or I would have been much more positive about this, is if in the ending one of the rooms gave you just enough ammo to fight it. It could just be pistol ammo, or no shotgun, no rifle, maybe a rifle, then or like 3 shotgun, and then however many pistol shots it takes to defeat the boss. That way, no matter, let's say you go in there with no ammo, you go into the room, it gives you just enough, as long as you hit every shot, you can beat it. And then it gives you like 1 rifle for a little bit of leeway, for like a few, you miss 3 shots, oh, you have a rifle to make up for that. But the fact that you could get stuck like that, it lost me entirely. Because if Hayden wasn't there, because Hayden was there, we streamed it, I would have closed the game and not looked back. I would have.
One issue I'm going to say with this, as I've thought about it, I can understand. I personally, I'll say this out there, I love the idea of that right there. You make it to the end, you'll take Danger's trial and tribulation. We'll just use his because he had trials, he had error, we're not going to say errors, he had hardships. He had trials, he had hardships.
It was errors. No, literally an error because the boss glitched.
No, I'm just saying hardships because of all the challenges you actually face. Because this is, to my knowledge, the first tank control game you played to end. It's an entirely new experience. I'm used to these older games. I grew up playing these older games. I love older games. That's why I don't have an issue with this. He's not. So this is something entirely new. It's to be like if you go hand your 5-year-old either a completely complex, let's say The Last of Us. The Last of Us is a very complex game because it's not 1 or 2 buttons. You have to hit 5, 6 buttons to do stuff. You hand your 5-year-old this, those who do not have the mental comprehension. In Danger, I'm not trying to call you a 5-year-old. It's the easiest way to explain it. This is the level of difference in it. Or if you hand someone who's never touched a Nintendo game. Danger, we'll use Danger. He's never touched, I don't think he's ever touched an original Nintendo. Like True Blood, AABB, pretty much.
I have, but I only did like maybe once.
And so we do that.
Like maybe once or twice. So it was very few times.
So
I
we
never
take
owned one myself. No.
so we take that from Xbox One, PS4, where these things have 5, 6, 7 buttons to 2 buttons. The complete drop off is so different. Danger may be able to agree in a test if he saw it, because we're probably going to play games that he's going to see me do it in, where it's something I've never played before, and so it'll be something completely different, so it has that. But I lost my train. I like the idea that you go through all that struggle, and the game's like, well, I kind of agree. I wish they had done the item thing, like give you just enough. But at the same time, one flaw I had was you could have just gone back a save. Like, and there's a save here. Let me go back here. I'll be less sporadic with my stuff. You could have redone it. That's how I am. That's how I play these kind of games. I don't have enough. Okay, let me go to a prior save to where I can. That way I don't have to restart. But I like it that way. You go through the hardships, go through the trials, go through all the errors, we'll say, in your playthrough, and the game's like, crap. You know what? He made it to the actual end of the game. Let's give him the ending. I genuinely love that. So I know.
Yeah, but But here's the thing. I didn't know that's what it would do.
No, I
right?
know. Here's what I would have imagined.
And I know you are gonna go with the whole. There, you would have had a book that tells you to do
that's
that
not what I'm
at this
talking
time,
about.
or
That is, I'm not going to talk about that. The guide would have been how to play the basic game: move, grab, run, shoot. It may have given a brief synopsis of the story, but they don't tell you unless you get the actual manual that some of the games did have and some didn't. You wouldn't have known that little exploit. I don't even know if it's an actual glitch or true thing. So that's why I haven't even brought that up, because that just basically teaches you the basic tutorial. I just found Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. Neat.
oh, yeah, there it goes. There it goes.
So I truly love, and also for people out there that want to know Danger's ending, he was in the car crash, more or less implying that either Harry died. Is also another good thing about Silent Hill games later on, is it's a lot of implication. You can take however you want with it, and it makes it great. Either Harry died or he's been knocked unconscious and he dreamed up everything. I think it's the dreamed up everything is actually what it's supposed to be.
You want to know what I thought it was? I thought it was after everything it went on. Like, he went through all of this, he failed, and so he ended himself. I thought that's what it was.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, dang, this really is the worst ending. That's what I'm saying. That's what I thought it was. Because the blood was, like, from, like, 1 point, and so I thought that's what it was.
I mean, yeah, as far as I know, it is just he's been...
I mean, it does make more sense because it was, like, from the forehead, and there was no, like, no wound to indicate such thing. But it's what made me think, because it was one of the first things you started with was a pistol, so that's what made me think it was that.
So, then you also are treated to by far one of the best ending sequences of a video game I've ever seen. Do you know what I'm talking about, Danger?
Mm-mm.
Where it's basically showing all the characters as if it's a sitcom blooper reel.
Yeah.
You have Lisa and Kaufman dancing, and I love that too, because you can see they put detail into them, like they're a true human. They're just having fun. Like Lisa and Kaufman are dancing. You see her big, like adorable, chubby face smiling. Kaufman falls. Dahlia goes running at you with lips out like she's gonna kiss you. The young Cheryl is just doing a child thing. Alessa's like doing a peace sign. Harry goes to lean up like he does early in the game and trips and falls over. I love that. I'll say this right now because we're winding down to the end of it. Danger, I hope you have our next game ready to go, locked and loaded, on that good old noggin of yours.
Yes, I do have a game. I really wanted to go back to this game. You played it already.
Okay.
And so we can play it again if you want to do more things.
We gotta give our rating. We gotta give our rating. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you already know which game, but yeah, we'll get to it.
Oh yeah, we're gonna Pokemon Super Ruby. Yeah. So we're gonna give on to the rating, and Danger is gonna give this one. I'm probably gonna give him a 4 rating. Is what he's probably gonna say this game is 4 or 5. 4 or 5.
4 or 5. Well, you go ahead and give your rating first.
I'm gonna give this game a 6.
gave it a 6.
A 6.
That's actually a lot lower than I thought you were gonna go. I thought you were gonna say 7.
Oh no, the game has a lot of
I thought you were gonna
issues
say
to it.
7.
The game has issues to it. I will not deny it. If you're someone who's never played the game, the story will 100% be confusing. Because you have to play through it a second time to fully comprehend some of the stuff sometimes. You won't understand all the hidden details. It is not good at explaining. It explains what you need to do story progression-wise, but the Sybil stuff. There's no telling how many times the first person had to play through it in order to figure out, okay, I got to grab this liquid and I throw it at Sybil. No telling that. Kaufman, no telling for that. Those right there took down my score. I love this game. I'm not going to say that. I also got to remember, this isn't a bias thing. You got to look at this. We're going to rate this on an overall public scale, how we would rank this game. Not biased. Yeah.
I was gonna go fully biased.
Like that's what I was saying. That's why,
no.
like Spider-Man. I said I like Spider-Man. I
Yeah.
can 100% see who it's for. It just gave. I think I gave it a 6 too.
Yeah.
Last of Us.
I'm not giving it a 6.
I'm
not giving Silent Hill a 6.
I think realistically you're gonna give it a 4. It's gonna be my guess.
I was gonna give it a 3, so I'll give it a 4 solely because I see the appeal of it. It's just the way.
No, I don't disagree.
The experience I went through, right? I'm thinking from my perspective, how many people went through what I went through, and that's what happened. If it's a game that builds off, this game highly suggests replayability. 4 endings gives you more stuff each time you play.
5 endings, technically 5.
Okay, so 5. Alright, so let's do that. 5 endings.
Yeah.
More weapons as with each save. It heavily implies you to play it again. You can
It
play it once
rewards
and be
you
fine.
for playing again.
It rewards you. But if my first experience is so bad, not enjoyable, boring, like if my experience is not so fun the first time, you're not going to convince me to play a second time. If I played the game, it's like, no, it's not too, like it was difficult, but the story's interesting. So you know what? Maybe I will play it again. Yeah, especially since the beginning is here. Story was boring. Like the story was boring, but I had a lot of fun playing it, so I don't mind playing it again, and maybe the story would be more interesting. The story wasn't interesting, wasn't fun to play,
and this
didn't have either of these aspects that got. And again, not for me, but I can see the appeal of the game. I can see where people are coming from, and I have seen the potential the game has. The game does have potential, right? It does have the potential it has. I've seen some of the other things. I'm not going to turn around and say, "Oh, I know everything about the game because I watched it all." I saw minor stuff, but I see the potential where it can go, and that is cool. So I will give it a 4. Personal experience, 3. But with the potential and stuff it has, I'll give it a 4. But I ain't going to say it's a 5 because that's saying that the game's not the best, but it is pretty recommended. A 5 or higher, it's a recommended game. I don't recommend this game
I
for
would
everyone.
personally put 5. If I did it, I would say 5 is a game of it's mid. It's, you know what? If you have
This
the
game's
ability,
worse than mid,
if you
so
have
it
the
is
ability
4.
to play it, you should play it at least once. That's what I say 5 is. But you do
You
not
can
need to
see-
play it more than once.
Watch someone play this game. Watch someone play this game. And if you're the type of person that likes puzzles, back and forths, if you don't care, again, it's very much what you want, and I'm thinking of things you want. Like you viewer, I'm thinking about you. It's very hard for you to guarantee get what you want.
That's entirely why I gave it a 6. I'm sitting here thinking like a full-on overall review aspect. It has a lot of flaws to it. I love the game.
Yeah,
it has a lot of flaws to it. It doesn't always.
No. Yes.
It doesn't always tell you.
Don't love it. Yes, it has flaws.
I played through this game 4 separate times.
I see why you love it. I do see it. It's just
it's not for you.
I do see why you love it though.
I love horror games. I love the puzzle aspects. Yeah. I love the deep dive into it, where it gives you the story and it rewards you for playing it more than once. I love that. Not everybody's going to have the patience to do it. Like there's 5 endings. Good ending or great ending where you Sybil escape. Good ending where only Harry escapes. Ending where it's Kaufman and not Sybil, because Sybil has to be alive in order for the endings. But you have the bad ending where no one's there, or you have the UFO ending. Someone's going to want to play through those multiple times to figure out why, and that's where some of the replayability does come into it. The 6 aspect is because it is confusing. It doesn't always do stuff, tell you everything. If you're not used to this game, it's definitely going to throw you for a loop for some of them. I'm lagging again. There we go.
You are lagging, yeah.
If we go to the overall exploration, like I said, the endings, I'm not even going to argue. Had I not just had random prior knowledge to this, I wouldn't have got a good ending. I wouldn't have explored around as much as I did because I
Yeah.
didn't know where Kaufman was. I didn't know the
Yeah.
red stuff there. I just happened to know that through passing on, like, I think may have been Watch Mojo or something like that, where I learned this stuff.
Watch Mojo's where I saw the UFO ending. I believe it was Watch Mojo where I saw it. I think it was like alien endings or alien Easter eggs, and
Probably
that
stupid
was one
endings
of them,
in
I
video
believe.
games, honestly, and I could see that one too.
It was stupid or alien. I swear it was an alien episode though, or maybe I'm thinking of. I don't think I'm thinking of Alien GTA. I'm pretty sure I'm thinking of Alien Silent Hill. Was one of the ones.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it's a secret. It's a secret. So I think it was.
That's
there.
why I gave it that because it's not. I know it's not for everybody. It is confusing for those kind of things. Those are not. You're gonna have those that are not proficient at puzzles that have to do walkthroughs are gonna give it lower reviews because they don't know how to actually play the game. And it's nothing against them. It's just not a game they're used to. Like if I throw you in the Lost Guardian or the Last Guardian or Rhyme or any other of these puzzle games that I have played, you're not going to have any idea what you're doing, and you're probably going to give it a lower review because I didn't know what to do. I had to look up a walkthrough. You even said if you had to look up a walkthrough, it takes down the overall rating.
If I spent, and here's the thing, I don't just look up a walkthrough, right? I don't just, I spent 2 minutes on. I actually spend like 30 minutes on like the school part. I spent a good amount of time going through each room, reading things, trying to figure it out. I spent a good time trying to figure out before I looked it up. I didn't just, I don't know what to do here. I looked around. I'll just look it up. Want to fly through this. I actually spent time playing the game. Games and Gamers is not just, I'm going to look up walkthroughs through each game and figure it afterwards. I'm going to play the game through. I'm going to play as much as I can. But if I am forced, because I've spent so much time working on a thing, and here's the thing, most games I'll go over 30 minutes, but again, boring, angry, confusing. So at this point, like 30 minutes is all I was going to give this one thing, because I didn't want to spend more than that. But yeah, so literally, like, I'll spend time on these games to figure it out. But if I have to go to a walkthrough, because I spent so much time trying to figure, it depends. It does depend if the walkthrough hinders my review on it, Like, if it's like a walkthrough, it's like, you gotta do this and that. It's like, I was on the right track, I just did it wrong. That's my fault. That's not the game's fault in any way. I was on the right track, but I did it wrong. I literally don't know what to do. I'm stuck. Help.
Yeah.
That's what the only reason we would ever do walkthrough is we've done this for so long. We literally cannot figure it out. What is the answer? And the answer will determine if that's our fault or the game's fault. Which in this case, the walkthrough, which was for the clock one, it inherently is my fault. It is my fault. I'm gonna blame the game, but it is my fault though as well. Like if I read it and paid attention to it, but the game just bored me to where I didn't want to keep looking. I didn't want to keep looking.
That's why.
Like the game did not have my interest, and that's why I looked it up. So I wasn't stuck entirely. If I was given more time, I probably would, but that's time I didn't want to give.
Yeah. So we're gonna overall give this game an overall 5, which you know what I think is actually kind of fair. It's not
between 4 and 6.
Yeah,
between 4 and 6. Yeah.
It is not for everyone. I'll tell you that right now. It is not for. It's a very specific niche. It's not just a horror game. It's a completely different horror game because horror games had stuff based from this one. This was a game-defining one. I was honestly expecting for Danger to get pissed off because I called this the same rating as Spider-Man.
Oh yeah. Oh, this game is not on that level at all in any way.
No, this game was actually fun.
No.
But I had done.
Speaking of which, as we're recording this, Spider-Man 2 was literally we showed a preview today.
You know what? I'm going to give my premature review right now
of Spider-Man of what we saw.
It's a 6.
It is a 7 for me. It is a 7.
Just because everything I saw, it looked to be the exact same game with a little more action. like action sequences.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's typically what sequels are. It's like around the same thing.
Sequels
With
add and improve quite a bit to it. We'll look at
the UI was that like the screen UI was definitely updated. The characters look cleaner. The lighting, they definitely used the newer stuff because the lighting looks amazing in the game. I don't know if you've paid attention to it, but the lighting looks super.
The voice
nice.
acting is the best part, right?
Voice acting looks
the best part.
Cool. The
voice acting looks cool.
The fact we got to see the transition from Spider-Man to like him getting the suit on. The fact we got to see that, not just him in a suit, we got to see the so cool. I love it. One thing I wanted so much was symbiote Spider-Man, and we got it. I'm so excited.
So, yeah, we'll give it an overall 5. I thought I was going to be really pissed because I claimed it the same just because it's every game is so much different than the other. That's why Games and Gamers is such a good thing. It's because we're not going to be just doing, here's a horror game, here's a horror game, here's turn-based, turn-based.
Literally, Games and Gamers, I love the whole concept and idea of this is because it allows me to play games that I've always wanted to play, but I've never really had a reason to go to it. It's like, I've always wanted to play Silent Hill, but there's a reason for me to go play right now, so I'll just play it later, and here we are later, 10 years later.
Or it's one of those ones where it's a game that you've never even heard of, that's like, hey, let's go play Rune Factory.
Sure. I don't have a DS, but sure.
It's a 3DS. I've never actually played this. I bought this from my buddy. I have actually yet to play it.
I've always wanted a 3DS. I've never gotten one, though. I would love to get one at some point.
$190 off Amazon.
Pretty good.
No, that's not. That's stupid. That's stupid high still.
Oh, I know. Yeah, no. It was originally like $100, so it's definitely more.
Oh, no. It was $200.
It was $200 originally? Yep. I thought it was $100. Maybe am I thinking of the DS?
The DSi, when it first came out, was $100.
Okay, I might be thinking of the DSi then.
The DS Lite was first $100. The DSi went to like $120, $130. Then the 3DS.
That's around the range I'm thinking. The $200. Yeah. But typically, it also came with the game as well, though, when you got it. No, am I thinking wrong? Maybe I'm remembering the trailers when they had like packs, like the Pokemon packs.
Some did. Some did. Like you had some special editions, but for the most part,
some 3DS did. Yeah.
It's like if you just go buy
with a game.
It's like if you go buy a console, unless it's a bundle, you just buy a console.
Yeah.
But anyway,
yeah.
So 5 out of 10 game. You know what? It's honestly how I was expecting this to go. Realistically, that's the best way this one can go.
I did expect you to give it like a 7. I actually expected you to give it a higher rating because you just hyped this game up.
Oh, here's the thing. Like I said, I'm not going to be biased when it comes down to my reviews. Future listeners.
Very realistic. Yeah,
I'm going to go in. I could love that.
What's your personal opinion? What's your personal number?
If I could give it a personal number, I would give it an 8.
I would give it a 3. So yeah. So going 4 to 6 and then rounding up to 5, that does make sense. But yeah, our personals are very much different than what the ratings we actually think it is.
Yeah, this is an 8 because
this is why we take personal rating out of the way.
If we do, you said you're 3. I'll tell my overall personal rating. Maybe we'll do this in later on. Who knows? Maybe not. I don't know. Personal rating is an 8. I love the atmosphere. I love the way the characters are. There's a whole lot of stuff that if you know more about the world, add so much to it. We made shit about the voice acting, and one person actually theorized it, which makes a whole lot of sense, that it's just the dream sequence of Alessa kind of fucking with everybody, so they do not sound realistic. I love...
That's a stretch.
It's silent. No, it's not. It's Silent Hill. No, Danger. You've just touched the surface of Silent Hill. That's by far one of the most close-knit theories you'll ever hear. So overall,
that was a lot worse one.
Oh, some of them are all over the place. Like I'm not even kidding. We'll go into them later. But yeah, overall, my personal rating is an 8. We're going to do the realistic review. It is a 6 because it has too many flaws to it to say that it is to say it's a masterpiece of a game. It's a good game.
Yeah.
From a true non-biased thing, it's a good game. Biased, it's a great game. None, it's good. And that is, I think, the best way to say it, because it's not for everyone. It's an older game. It's clunky. If you're not used to it, it's going to change your experience. There's so many variables of it that drag it down as an overall game. That is why, for most players out there, that is why I will give it I will give it nothing less than a 6.
Right.
So, Danger, what is our next game?
All right, so
we're going to play Chair Fucking Simulator, right?
I need to stretch my thumbs. I need my joystick back. We need to be able to play a fun little game. So this game is definitely more on gameplay than it really is story.
Fire Emblem?
No.
Pokemon.
I want to play. This is definitely going to be different compared to the games we have played. I want to play Mario Odyssey.
Okay.
I want to play Mario Odyssey.
I'll have it beat by tomorrow.
So yeah.
I'll have it beat by tomorrow.
It's a game that you could beat pretty fast. It's a fun game. It's not really like it's story wise. It's got a bunch of mini stories. It's got one cool big story, but it's a bunch of mini stories. So this game's definitely going to be different compared to the games we have played so far. Definitely different, much different. It's more of gameplay fun than it is story fun. Because the story's cool, but it's more of the looks and the play of it that's fun.
And we'll also say this is the first Mario game I have played in years.
Yeah, we can definitely. And also, I had this thought in mind because I watched the Mario movie a few weeks ago, and so it's just Mario's been on my mind for a little while. Also, in my even the background of y'all don't see face cam, but in my streams, if y'all have the background, I have Mario stuff in the background. I've been a Nintendo
I can quickly
kid.
change it if you want.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. I've been a Nintendo kid all my life, so yeah, love Nintendo. So we definitely got to play Mario at some point. So yeah, here we are, Mario game.
Okay.
And it does have a story to it. It does have like a bunch of mini stories and stories. So we're not playing Mario Wii or Mario Wii U. It's a game that actually does have a story to it. It's just not as advanced or in depth as these.
No, it's
other
very
ones.
simple. Go to
It's
point
very
A,
simple.
grab point thing.
Yeah, it's very simple. There are many things, but it's very simple. It's the gameplay that's fun, and even it's a little more simple. But yeah, definitely a fun game we can play.
All right, and Odyssey is now set to download.
Nice. Yeah, and then I have it on the thing, so I mean I can play it pretty easily, pretty fun. And I'm excited to play it.
So be prepared for that. Hope all of you enjoyed.
And then for you to counteract Mario, you're gonna get a complex hard game. You're gonna play Dark Souls for our next one after.
No, I know what our next game is already.
Nice.
Do you remember actually?
Probably no, I don't remember.
Oh boy, this will be fun. Because we discussed it and you said, you know what, I'm down for playing this.
I'm sure I'll remember at some point.
It could be Resident Evil, but it's not. It could be Kingdom Hearts, but it's not. No telling. But I know entirely what it is.
I think I remember, but yeah.
Okay.
I think I remember.
Well, so I'll ask afterwards.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I hope all you enjoyed this. Time to turn off party chat. Put your consoles into rest mode. And we will see you all in our next one, our next stream. I don't know how I'm gonna end this. I'm still getting endings all done.
Bye.
I guess Danger's wanting to say bye. Bye. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.